All right, friends. So, as you might know, these are LARP stories from Underworld Zenithstrand. And that is the chapter out in Saskatoon. You know, far away, but we're not as far away this time because we're at a site that we use as like the summer site. So there's like different sites that we go to, like campsite things that we go to, depending on like the season and like the conditions and the available amenities and like that kind of shit, right? So this site was our summer site last year, and I think it's gonna be our summer site again this year, which is really cool because it's a good site. I like it a lot. It is, I think it's called like the Quad War site in Saskatchewan. Like Quad Wars is like this, you know, Society for Creative Anachronisms like organization thing. I don't really know much about it. But the site has like a fort on it and like lots of cool buildings, but all those buildings are closed because they're private property and we can't go in them, and that's okay. Though some of them were rented out for the weekend, you know, like people rent out their private building to like LARPers to hang out in and like sleep in and stuff. Yeah. So we're at the Quad War site. This is a new site for us from the last couple of stories. And it is sprawling. Like, lots of fields, you know? And like, little copses of trees sort of thing. And, like, not a lot of, like, passable forest area. So much as there is, like, some paths through some trees. You know?
Heavy undergrowth and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
like, very, very grasslands, you know? Which is fine. It's Saskatchewan. That's what you expect. So, this game was a, you know, set up a camp, put up a tent kind of game, you know, rather than a, like, stay in a building game. So we got to figure out what our camp was going to look like and what our camp was going to be like. And, you know, me and Siobhan, we didn't get to leave until late on Friday because I work until 6, right? Because of Tomb of Annihilation. And so we got there, like, last of our group.
Yeah, but then we had to find our group.
Yeah. So we arrived at the site. And we were like, hey, has anybody seen, you know, X person? I think Ave and Steph were the people we were looking for. Has anybody seen Ave? Who's like Kython in game. You probably heard about him in other stories. Has anybody seen Ave? No, I haven't seen Ave. Shit. This is giant site. It's dark. And we don't know where to go to put our stuff, you know? And so we wandered around a little bit, like, checking. We went up to Plot Camp, asked them, like, hey, do you know where Ave and Steph are camped? And they're like, no. I'm like, okay, great. And then we, like, walked back through town. You know, it took us, like, a good 15, 20 minutes. And then eventually one of our friends came up to him and was like, I tried to call out to you, but you clearly didn't hear me. Like, they're right over there. And there's, like, car with headlights on, like, over unpacking stuff. I'm like, well, that was obvious. We should have gone over there. But what are you going to do? So we got a nice little spot, nice little alcove, in a little forested area that like looks out over all of the over all of the like what do you call it?
Like town center.
Yeah, like the town center where the buildings are and like the flat grassland area there. So in the dark you can look out and see everything, and nobody can look in and see you. You know, assuming you don't have any lights on or anything like that. But
which we didn't.
I mean, the only light we had was basically yours, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
I spent most of the time either in my pocket or hidden.
Yeah. I'm still waking up, everybody. I'm sorry. I'm getting there. I swear. So we spent some time looking around. 4 days of LARP will drain the hell out of you. Okay. I feel like I'm gonna collapse into a puddle. My legs are jelly. My arms are jelly. Everything's jelly.
I feel like there's a certain amount of like, past the second day, you need to start like treating it like it's like kind of real life.
Yeah.
Because you need to like, I don't know. You're like, wait a second. I've got like, I can't just burn myself out. I've gotta conserve. Yeah.
But anyway, I sidetracked myself. So we found the camp. We set up our camp stuff. And we we didn't get to do a whole lot on Friday night. I feel like we didn't. We talked to some people, but I don't remember it being like notable.
Yeah.
Because we spent most of our time setting up, and then it was really cold, and we wanted to just like get to sleep, basically.
Yeah.
We had a little tent, little triangle tent that says it's a 2-person tent. It only just fits me and Siobhan into it, I think, like side by side, basically. And this particular event was like blazing hot days, freezing nights, you know? It was very sort of like up and down, which is difficult to deal with, right? Like you got a lot of gear to be able to deal with that. But we had a lot of blankets, and it was mostly okay. I was really cold the first night.
Yeah. I think we like didn't like have a perfect blanket strategy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we had enough blankets, but our strategy was like a little not as good. Our layering, you know. But we had body heat as well, which is nice. You know, like it's cool. It's good. I like it. It's nice. Yeah. A little cozy tent. Yeah. So we set up our little tent. We also had like a rope across the trees, where we hung like sheets basically to like prevent line of sight, like visibility and stuff, which is like really, really great. You know,
it came in very handy later on.
It's very helpful because people stand outside it and they're like, "Can I come in?" I'm like, "Yes, come in." I appreciate when people ask for my permission before tromping into my fucking camp. That's what I like.
Well,
makes me feel important. Okay.
Like petitioners are coming forward.
Yes, come forth, minions. No, not minions, but you know. All right. So yeah, Friday night passed sort of like well, not entirely uneventfully.
Yeah.
We're sleeping in our tent, and we hear this voice outside, and it sounds like Tammy, because we know what Tammy sounds like. And she's clearly playing some kind of fae.
Yeah.
Because she sounds like she's playing some kind of fae. We all know what that sounds like, you know?
Yeah, there's a little giggle in her voice.
Yeah, she has like a specific voice, you know? And she runs through the camp, and I think she fae walked in. Right? Yeah. She fae walked in, and which is like she just appeared out of nowhere, and went. Oh no! Have you seen all the nopes? The nopes are coming. You don't want to mess with the nopes. You should hide. You should make sure you're all hidden, and like I'm gonna leave because the nopes are coming, and you don't want to mess with them. You know, basically.
Yeah.
What she said. It was like, warning, bad things are out. You know? All right, good. And so she went away. She fae walked away and went to go tell other camps about the nopes, presumably. Unless we were the last ones, which is possible if she went like left to right, because we were sort of the rightmost camp. But so she disappeared, and then we heard like something drag. A little, like, maybe 10 minutes later, something dragged, like, a boffer, like a claw or something, along our tent. You know, that, like, sound of a tent being scraped, the, like, shh, you know, kind of.
Yeah, and the other thing about this tent is, like, it's just a little triangle, so when you're sleeping, you're actually really close to the wall.
Yeah, so, like, pushing down on it even a little bit, like, sort of touches you. Yeah. And so we're trying to be really quiet, just so, like, it doesn't see us or hear us or whatever, because they can get you in the tent if they want to. If they want to attack you, they can open the tent up and start hitting you with boffers. Like there's nothing to stop them from doing that. Basically, like a tent is not a safe space. You know, it is a tiny little space that you can't really get out of, but I guess you could like throw packets out and stuff. We both of us are in a pretty good position because we have stuff to stop things from getting in, but yeah, so it's like this spooky thing outside. And then there's an out-of-game question comes to us like, is it okay for me to stick my head in?
Yeah.
And we're like, yeah, totally. You know? And so this NPC opens the flaps of the tent, and all we see is this glowing mask, right? And when I say glowing, I mean like it's got a wireframe X on one eye and a wireframe circle on the other, and this big toothy smile and this blue wireframe like LED business, right? And it was like, okay, you know, like I haven't seen that before. I was sort of thing. And I was worried that he was just gonna like start throwing stuff or like do some abilities like through the tent or whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, oh god, please don't. And he didn't. He just went away. He just like looked in, was like really spooky at the foot of our tent, you know, like, and then just went away.
I think us hiding was important.
I think it's what he wanted. Yeah, like fear, right?
Yeah.
Because there was some warning about the like, what was he, the like
tied to the nightmare,
like the autumn guy, right?
Oh,
like
okay.
the autumn court fae, the like fear guy. I can't remember his name, but yeah, he's been around before.
Okay.
Where like if you react scared, he doesn't hurt you.
Yeah.
So, I think we looked scared enough.
I mean, I think it helps that we're, you know, sitting in a tent at the back of the tent.
Their blankets pulled.
Yeah.
Excuse me, everybody. I'm still doing all the yawns. I need some caffeine, but I don't have any, so I'll just have to drink water. All right. So that was Friday night. Yeah, it was like, ugh, you know. And then Saturday morning. What do we do? What do we do Saturday morning?
We had your lovely hat as like a shade.
Oh yeah, we woke up. We woke up and my witch hat was like our sunshade for the morning, to keep the sun off of us while we were sleeping in the tent, because you know, like, it's nice and cold and, well, nice and cold. It's fucking freezing and dark, and then in the morning it's blazing hot and like bright as hell, right? And so both of us are like together with a hat over both of our heads so that we can block out the sun with like the big rim of the witch hat in the morning. And we stayed in the tent for a little bit, but I was getting overheated, so I had to get out. Yeah. Did we bring our own food? We did. There was a meal plan available for the weekend, because there was like one of the people who owns one of the cabins at site did like a meal plan, you know, and like said like, I'll cook food for you, you just have to pay me, sort of thing. And it was some real good food by the looks of it. There was like waffles and stuff, and I saw like some real good food. But we brought our own. Yeah, we brought our own. We have lots of stuff with like high water content, so like cucumbers and like tomatoes
and like Powerade
and like tons of Powerade. Yeah, that kind of stuff. It's good. It's good. It's nice. We didn't mind like doing it ourselves. It's more of a Wilder thing, you know. Like we're sort of a camp of wild elves and stuff, so and like other wild folk. So it's sort of like, yeah, it's okay for us not to go to the tavern and buy ourselves a meal.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. It's like, why do you need these like sugary waffle treats?
Yeah.
I mean, I would like them.
We survive on the why do you need these sugary treats? We survive on hard biscuits and sadness.
And that makes us something.
Tough.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
And it also means that we don't have to like plan our day around looking what the clock is, because that's can get kind of
because the tavern's like cooking stuff at specific times of the day.
Yeah.
We didn't want to have to like be tied down to like, I'm not hungry then, so I'm not gonna eat, and then I miss out on my meal, sort of stuff. That kind of business. Also lots of granola bars, peanut butter granola bars, because they're like got a bit of stodge to them, you know, like a little bit of like, I don't know, when you eat them you feel fuller.
Protein.
I mean, I guess, yeah.
I think so.
I don't know what you would describe it as, but yeah. So we dealt with our own food. So not all of our camp did, which is fine. But we dealt with our own. Saturday morning we got up, and I think Saturday morning was like, let's see what the hell is going on. So we made a little like walk around and saw where some of the camps were and like what people were doing and how stuff was going. I'm trying to think of like notable stuff that happened on Saturday morning. Was that when the ice elves and the dwarves did the thing?
I think that was Saturday afternoon, or maybe Sunday. No, not Sunday.
It wasn't Sunday.
Yeah.
It was definitely Saturday at some point. See, this is what I mean. Yeah. We did 4 days of LARP.
Rituals.
Oh yeah, of course. So one of the things key on our minds this weekend was that we have a lot of ritual scrolls. And I've told you guys about rituals before, right? Like the higher level magic. The magic that is like you need to do a 10-minute ceremony and like be in a circle, and there's very specific stuff you have to do, and there's like a whole procedure and all that kind of thing. So we wanted to do our rituals. We wanted to like this was the weekend we decided we were going to perform some rituals.
Yeah, we were going to play with terrible
terrible possible consequences of powerful magic. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the first one that we did was yours.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, but we so met up with some people to help us out with that.
Yeah. You want to tell it?
Yeah. Well, there were some people visiting from, like, Toronto, which is a long ways away from Saskatoon.
Yeah, we had some guests who drove 36 hours to come LARP with us, so hype on them.
Yeah, and 36 hours back the same night to go work, like, come in, like, 6 hours before they're supposed to work the next day. Like, I don't think I've ever been that intense.
Yeah, they came from Toronto, from, like, the home chapter, you know, like from Jericho, the first Underworld chapter, to come play with us. And well, some of them from Ashendale and like various places. I think they're based in various locations, but they came to us.
Yes,
is what I'm saying, to visit. There was like 5 visitors, I think.
Yeah, I think 5.
It was Cade, who's like a wild elf, Sybil person, werewolf. So Cade, you'll hear a lot about because Cade hung out with us a fair amount. Syl, who is like an aether polearm stabber person.
Yeah. Also chemist.
Mystic.
Yeah.
So there's Cade, Syl, Ival, who's the dark elf weaver of the rays, like the god of revenge. So she's fucking scary. Lycus, who was this like other dark elf that was with Ival, and other than that, I don't know any defining features about Lycus except that he had fucking energy.
Yeah.
Which I love. Lycus, and who was the last? Anna. Anna was the last one, and she's a paladin of Liliandra. Liliandra being the like god of elves, you know. So we had a nice list of visitors this game, which is lovely. It's nice to meet new people. I'm always nervous about it, but it went so well. Like I made friends. I can't believe I made friends. Oh, the morning was when we met them, like by the tavern and stuff.
Yeah.
Like when we went over there, and we were talking, and then Ival's like, "I'm gonna ask you a rude question." I'm like, "All right. Are you the witch?" I'm like, "Yes." And Ival's like, "Cool." It's one of those things where it's like, witches are not a thing that you see a lot about in Jericho, apparently. It's like the one illegal thing. So it's like, I don't know. I think I was a little bit of a like an oddity, you know, like magic that's not always there.
Well, it is also illegal in
here.
Yeah.
In Zenithstrand.
The brazen, I've never met you before. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, technically witchcraft is illegal where we are as well.
Yeah.
But I don't care. Yeah. Which is the most fun thing of all, cuz everybody will defend my use of it cuz I've never hurt anyone with it. I'm like nothing but a benefit to this town.
It is very true.
I swear to God. Like... Yes, can I have a letter of your true name? That's what the question will cost you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't think Ival would like that.
No. I don't think she'd respond kindly.
I don't think she'd respond well to threats. I don't want to threaten a Weaver of Rays because it's the god of revenge. I'll pass on that. But anyway, so we met up with some of the people who were visiting, and like I got introduced to some people, and like Iman knows some of them already, from visits and stuff.
Yeah.
Who do you know with them?
I technically met all of them. I think I've met Anna like very briefly before, and I don't think I met Lycus.
I heard from Cade that Lycus is like newer.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I meant like this like once before, like
Yeah.
but not like strong interactions.
Yeah, I mean, he was running around like stabbing people in the back for ones and just just having a good time.
Yeah, just like enthusiastically garroting people that were like
12
times
strength.
stronger.
Yeah, he tries to garrote people and they just break out of it immediately, and he's like, "Okay." Like, it's good. I really like Lycus.
Yeah.
But anyway, rituals, like we were saying. So we gathered up some folks who, you know, like would find this relatively interesting. Cade being the operative choice, because he's like a Sybilite, right?
Yeah.
And like a werewolf, and so Iman's all like, "I like you."
Yeah. Yeah, and then we had like. So Iman is no longer a werewolf now.
Yeah. Developments, by the way, friends. Iman is not a werewolf anymore because of the whole like template removal thing that's happening. You got some new powers though.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So the wolf that was like in her head that she was like sharing space with, so she can like transform into the wolf. Alternate personality. It's really just her. She's just kind of in denial. But yeah, so that part of her is kind of like turned into like a little ghost that's like following her around and circling around and giving her ideas about, you know, how to look after her friends.
Yeah.
And how to do that stuff. So mechanically, she like switched over to a vocation, which is called the shaman vocation. The
shaman
confusingly
vocation.
enough.
Confusingly enough, yeah.
Yeah.
So instead of having her werewolf powers, she has like a new set of powers that are the shaman vocation, which is a new vocation that allows you to like assign people totem things, like animists. You know, like you assign members of your braid, which is like your group, like an animal that like identifies them, and that gives them certain powers with that group of animal, and also allows the shaman to sense them at will. Yeah. So you can call like sense braid Glumheart, I guess, for you, like sense braid Glumheart, and all the braid members have to say here, you know. So you can always like find your people, basically, which is super cool. So there's like some new shaman powers, and that's cool. And more on that later, because you gave me a shaman.
Yeah, I did.
I'm very happy about it. Light ritual, light circle. So we got Cade. Yeah. And then we went to plot camp. Yeah. And we said, "Hey, Tammy,
we want to do a thing.
Tammy, we want to do a ritual." She's like, "Okay." Yeah. And then she grabs a ritual bag, which is like this bag of stones, basically, like white stones and black stones and red stones. And what you pull determines what happens to the ritual when you finish the ritual. White stone is a success, a black stone is a backlash, and a red stone is a flaw. Flaws and backlashes are bad. Flaws, less bad. Backlash is really bad. Yep. And you can influence how many white stones are in there, and how many black stones are in there, and how many red stones are in there by doing certain things, certain ways, right? During the ritual. Like, if you succeed at stuff, you maybe get more white stones. If you fail at stuff, you get black stones. Yep. And then, you know, if you're like, ritual start, and then you can't remember what to do. Blackstone. Like, yeah, it's bad. It's bad time. It's not going to go well for you.
You're also not allowed to have the scroll with you when you're casting the ritual.
Yeah, so you can't, like, read off of it.
I mean, I suppose you can make notes.
Yeah. You could have a book with the whole thing written out. Yeah. Look at it. Which I might do for, like, the more complicated ones later on. Yeah. Because, holy crap, some of the witchcraft ones are involved.
Yeah, it's like, recite this poem.
Yeah. But, anyway... Light circle. So we went to this little clearing. That Iman and Cade had found. And started the light ritual.
Yeah. So it's like kind of flashback. So the last time I was hanging out with Cade, we were doing like light ritual in like the basement of a abandoned church swarmed by undead. So this is the context that we're expecting. Last time we did this, you know, it was a bad time. So
yeah, it was difficult. So the reason we brought Cade, not just because he would be interested, but because he wasn't going to be involved in the casting, which means if it backlashed or like something bad happened, there'd be someone to run and get help or to like do something.
And also someone that is trusted to be involved in it. Yeah. Like someone who's like has no motivation whatsoever to screw it up. Because
Yeah.
you have to be really careful with these things.
Yeah. And like Cade was there just to make sure that if anybody walked by, they didn't interrupt us, or if NPCs like came by, that he'd lead them off, like that kind of stuff, right? Because if we get interrupted during that 10 minutes, bad shit happens. Also, I participated in making a light ritual circle, everyone. Aeryn, Dark Witch of Doom, participated in helping to make a light ritual circle.
Well, of Sybil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, So it's not like a Cassandra circle or something. It's fine. It's
out of game though, I was a little apprehensive. I had no idea what was gonna, like, this is the first time where it's really come into question. It's like, Iman thinks Aeryn is great. Of course. Why would Sybil have a problem with Aeryn? She's wonderful. But Siobhan she's kind of a witch.
Yeah, she's kind of a witch. I don't know if it's gonna affect the ritual in a bad way or whatever. And every time we mentioned it to Tammy, she laughed about it, which was like, it's not a good sign. It's not a good sign.
It's all But Tammy likes to laugh.
That's true. That's true.
She's really good at that.
But and it went okay, right? Yeah. We performed the ritual, and the way the ritual works is like you have to make an altar, basically. Like, so we marked out the circle, and then you have to make an altar to Sybil. And the trick with this one is you have 10 minutes, and you can't stop decorating during that 10 minutes. Like, the ritual is decorate an altar to Sybil. If you stop decorating, then you're not doing the ritual. So it's about extending your decorative period as much as you can. Yeah. How much longer is Aeryn going to be able to keep up this edgelord facade? Yeah, I know. She's being a good influence, and it's terrible. But it's also really interesting. There's some really good stories about that later on. Some other ritual stuff and what have you. But yeah, so we were like, we had to keep decorating this altar, and Iman was dragging it out by like picking a thing up and then talking about why it was important for like a good minute or two, and then putting it down. And I was so worried because I didn't know if I needed to also keep decorating. So I was like moving stuff and like adjusting twigs and like putting rocks in places and like, because I couldn't sit down and like tell you why this was important or whatever, because it's not my altar, it's her altar. I'm just like trying to fucking I was like, I hope we don't have like 80 Blackstones by now, because I'm just standing around being a fucking useless piece of shit.
No, it was good, because there's also like a giant packed up bag that I'd packed up with like stuff. So it's like you're always
pulling something out. I like unfolded all the the cloth, and then we never used it. That kind of stuff. It was good. It was good. And then we pulled stones from the bag. And we got a success straight away. I didn't need to pull because like every ritual caster involved gets to pull if the first one fails. To like help succeed. But I didn't even have to. She could have done it on her own. And it was good. Siobhan, I need you to entertain these people for a moment. I need to take a quick break. So you keep telling stories, and then I'll be back, and I'll see what you've done. All right?
Oh, no.
I'm leaving you solo with chat. Chat be nice. I'll be right back.
Right. Hi, people. So rituals. Rituals can be cool. So the last time I was in a ritual, so this was the one previously that I mentioned earlier, a flaw happened. And flaws are bad. Flaws are bad because what they do is that they say the ritual succeeded, but now there is something wrong that happened. Something wrong that is on you or on the area around you that will cause trouble. So this particular flaw that I had run into, that I was scared was going to reoccur the second time because it would have been very annoying, which is for the next day, I could only ask questions. I couldn't say anything. I couldn't do anything except for ask a question. So I would I had to go up to people and I need to have a conversation about you, a serious conversation about the nature of the metaphysics of this world, but all I can do is ask questions, and I'm upset, so I'm going to angrily interrogate you about your beliefs for an hour, which was really fun. But then it started to get more frustrating because it was I need to ask, or I need to say everybody get over here, there's a monster coming. So come over here, okay, everybody? Yeah, isn't this a good idea? There was a lot of isn't it there. But so yeah, so it's something like that, which can be really cool. There's some that are really cool, but there are others that can get like really hampering, and especially if it could last for like at the beginning of our 3-day to 4-day event, that could have been has a chance to like really change the entirety of the event. And we wanted to do more rituals, so if you have to ask everything as a question, and maybe there's a ritual in which you have to recite something, you just can't do it. Yeah, that's a good one. What if everybody came over here for a minute? There's I think I exhausted every single possible question that I could think of. Towards the end of it, Iman was just so exhausted. She just either stopped speaking or was just saying everything and adding "isn't it" at the end to just like look for reassurance and be like, please, magic, get out of my head. Yeah. Flaws are fun. We are not ready for the incoming monster. Yeah. There are a lot of vampires that event too. And there are also lots of like strange things where you have to like interact with the vampires in a weird way, where they're trying to like convince people not to attack them right away so they could steal blood. Because I think there are some witches around, but I didn't know that at the time. So, yeah. So flaws could get interesting. Thankfully, we did not run into any for this ritual, because that could... So the question one isn't that bad, but there are some that are, you turn purple. Your entire skin turns purple. You're wearing purple makeup for the rest of the event. Go! Which, again, can be really fun and can be really awesome. But it's... So that one wouldn't have interrupted other things that we wanted to do. Backlashes. Backlashes are terrifying. So backlashes are the other things that could happen. So backlashes means, first of all, the ritual fails. So it doesn't actually succeed. The flaw means it does succeed, but there's a problem with it. So backlashes, it fails and horrible things happen. So things like all magic within like a kilometer radius disappears and is consumed. Things like, oh, hi, you should go to the resurrection circle because you just died. The ritual consumed your soul and now you are dead.
Bad stuff can happen.
Yeah.
Basically. Are we just talking about the consequences of rituals right now?
And we were talking about flaws, now we're talking about backlashes.
Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry, my stomach is a little upset right now. It's not great. Excuse my absence. I'm sure Siobhan was a fantastic host while I was gone. Yeah.
Yeah. So we didn't have any flaws.
Nope,
which is great.
We managed to do it just fine, just perfect. Yeah. So the light circle went off without a hitch. I came back too early. You keep going. I'm gonna go again. I'm the worst.
No.
I'm sorry, stream. I'm sorry. I don't know if you can see me.
No. Elf was also kind of sick at LARP, so yeah, she's getting over a bit of that. Yeah. So 1 kilometer radius, that does cover the entire LARP area, which usually makes you very unpopular with anyone else around because they tend to like their magic things. So if you destroy them all because of your own failure, then people don't like that. So some organizations will be, some locations of the LARP will tend to be more stringent on how they control who does rituals and stuff like that. In order to kind of like, they try and manage this stuff. They're like, all right, so how are you doing this? What are all of your plans? What are your steps? If you don't do these things, we will not allow you. It'll be illegal for you to do a ritual. But we are in the wilds of Zenithstrand, where it's kind of anarchy, kind of not. So we're just going to do rituals in the woods and see what happens. Which is a great plan. Does anyone get hurt while LARPing? Yes, like people can like run into like injuries and stuff like that, just like how anyone could if you're running around camping for a weekend and doing physical activity. most LARPs have like have a lot of like safety protocols. So they'll have like, we make sure that we only like allow certain buffers or certain like weapons and stuff like that to make sure they're really safe, so that they can't go into eye sockets, for example. That's a lot of things that people look for to make sure that we mitigate injury. But it is just people running around in the woods. Sometimes people trip, sometimes people run out. And in terms of like eye gear, eye protection, it depends on the kind of LARP. Like some ones where if you're doing something with airsoft guns, then they'll have eye gear, they'll have headgear. If you're doing something that's more fantasy, if you're using like really padded sticks and stuff like that, there'll usually be like no headshots, and then we'll just be careful. I haven't ever seen someone have an eye injury really, and I've been LARPing in kind of the style that I've been doing for a long time. But there's so many different LARPs out there. So if you're worried about safety, just, I would say, ask the people, and they'll tell you like all their procedures and stuff like that. Okay, yeah. Etiquette note: doesn't usually address chat videos much on YouTube videos. Thank you. All right, I will then talk about more backlashes, because backlashes can be fun. Backlashes. So in terms of a backlash that could have been really bad, is that the thing with them is that you can, because they affect people that are like outside of the ritual, and it can like affect the entire event, like all of the time, like you're always wondering whether this strange thing is happening is because another player has done a ritual and there's something weird happened with the ritual, or is this something else, or is this like a giant threat that's coming in, or is there like, is this a demon that's coming in and doing stuff, or is like some god coming in, or did some player just do something in the woods that didn't quite work out well? So it adds kind of that like a mechanical element of chaos to the game, which is really interesting, because it does mean that like there's always a question of like, even if something looks like obviously this is connected to this, well, it just might not be. So that's one thing that I enjoy, because I like having kind of like a world that feels more than that. So I'm trying not to get too far ahead in LARP stories, because I don't want to like cover things and then like have Elf come back and then like backtrack too much. So what else? Ritual-wise, we did some other rituals that event. It was kind of interesting, because after after Elf helping out, well, Aeryn, scary witch, helping out with the god ritual for Sybil, Iman was trying to figure out, well, Aeryn wants to do some witchcraft. Sybil didn't seem to mind Aeryn helping her, so it should work the other way. I mean, the thing is with gods and demons is that demons are a different kind of, they're a different source of power, and they're at odds with gods. So there's no way that Iman really could help with creating the circle of another god, really, or especially not a dragon. But with a demon, it's not really an answered question. There's lots of assumptions, but it's not really known. So it was kind of an experiment. And then also doing this kind of experiment as part of a ritual is a little bit of a dangerous thing to do, because of all these backlashes that have been I've been talking about. Yeah, especially when dealing with a god, because a god could just make pretty much anything happen. When a god is involved in something and invested in something that's tied to what their domains are and what their specialities are, then they have a lot of power over that thing, especially if their attention has been drawn to it. So this case in particular would be a case where if Sybil wanted to do anything whatsoever, she would have all the power to do so. She would know exactly where we were. She knew exactly what we were doing. And yeah.
Hi, friends. Sorry. Are we still talking about the light circle?
Yeah, I was rambling quite a bit.
Oh, well, you're doing a good job. Chat, I just saw a question that I'm actually interested in hearing about. Usually we don't address questions that have come up in chat, but like, what's the mildest backlash you've ever witnessed? Or not backlash, but maybe flaw, because those are the mild ones.
Yeah.
Like the one where you're like, huh.
Alright, so I had a flaw that was, you're just paranoid.
Are you just paranoid?
Just paranoid.
You're just paranoid.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the flaw.
Yeah, so I was paranoid and was really scared of things, my friends coming at me and like telling me stuff that, you know, was like, why do you want to kill me, friendo? Why do you want to kill me? Yeah. That was fairly mild because my character isn't the kind to really act too much on that.
Yeah,
but
there's no like, I'm gonna kill you before you kill me sort of thing. Yeah, like kind of stuff. I get it. That could be really bad in the hands of like an assassin or like somebody who like is already like very aggressive. You know, it's like, I'm paranoid that you're gonna stab me. Spell. You know, that kind of stuff. Yeah, I could see that one being like really good or really bad. But anyway, I'm glad that you have the streamer blood in your veins and you managed to ramble for like 10 minutes while I was sick. I had a sick time over the weekend a little bit. It wasn't all of the weekend, but like I'm still working through some of the after effects of such a thing. So I'm sorry for my absence there, chat. So we did your ritual.
Yeah.
Statistically, we pulled what? Like if we're talking about the actual ritual, you did a level 3 slot?
Yeah.
Yeah, level 3 slot is a level 1 ritual, which means that we had 3 white stones in the bag, 1 red, 1 black. So our chances of pulling a success were 3, and our chances of pulling any kind of failure were 2.
Yeah, we also got an extra white because...
We got an extra white because you put items of significance, not just random props on the altar. Yeah, we put like tags on the altar. So we had an extra one. So actually it was like 4-2. So we had like a 2 out of 3 chance of pulling a white, basically. So it's good. It's good. Like these are our first sort of like our baby steps into ritualing. You know what I mean? Like the 2 characters. I don't know. Iman's participated in rituals, but is it her first one that she's like primary casted?
No, she primary casted one, that one in Jericho that was being overrun by undead.
Oh, you were the primary caster? Jesus.
I was the only caster.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, that was a bad idea. A terrible idea, but yeah.
I mean, there you go.
Yeah. But it was to like, you know, there was like undead in the area and something. I don't know. It was some plot stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and plot was like, we'll give you a secondary because, you know.
Yeah. Because we don't want you to fuck it up.
Yeah, pretty much.
But so we did that ritual, and then we had to wait a little while because like Tammy had other stuff to do, and we didn't want to like keep her here like entirely. Yeah. So we did some like Saturday morning, eating lunch, like hanging out kind of stuff, and the afternoon started coming around, and this was the game where I decided that Saray, the Crow Tribe wild elf who'd been with us, was gonna get her Gen Vespin markings. We'd been talking about it for a couple of games. We've been like going back and forth on like why you'd want to or why you wouldn't, you know, and there's the Gen Vespin tradition is the Rite of the Flayed. And the Rite of the Flayed is basically like, I make the first cut in your face, and then you cut your markings, the current markings you have, off your face. Then we heal you, and I re-tattoo you as a Gen Vespin, basically.
So earlier that day, when we were like hunting out for like sites to put the light ritual, Saray was giving me a hand, and she was like, I feel like this is the most important day of my life.
Aww.
She was all angsty and like, there's a whole new world opening before me.
I'm so glad. Yeah. I'm so glad. I actually didn't finish her tattoos perfectly, but anyway, I was like, we were walking around, like I was trying to find Saray and Kython because what I wanted to do was I had some rituals to cast, so what I wanted to do is do the Rite of the Flayed, then on the ground where that had happened, put my witchcraft circle, and then summon my blood imp in that circle. So what we're doing is like an RP ritual followed by a level 1 ritual followed by a level 1 ritual, like back to back to back, you know, which I was like, fuck yeah, let's do this shit, you know. And so we waited a bit, and so we found Saray and Kython, and I said to Saray, like, as soon as you're ready, we're gonna do it. You know, she's like, all right, I'm gonna go get ready. And she like went to camp and like got ready. And Steph, the person who plays Saray, like put on like, you know, fake like plaster under her eyes where the markings were, so she could like peel them off.
Yeah.
And she like dressed down to like just a robe and like no pants and stuff. It was like really ritualistic. It was super cool.
Yeah.
And she had like this really great fake blood that had like a little bit of coffee in it to make it darker. Which I stole from my rituals because it was better than my option. But yeah, so there's like a lot of cool props being involved. I like used the big kitchen knife prop that I have for it. But so we waited a little while because Tammy was busy, and we knew we wanted her to see this because, like, I was hoping that spilling blood on the ground beforehand would give me a bonus to my ritual. To be honest, that's what I was hoping. It didn't happen, but I knew that Tammy wanted to see the Rite of the Flame happen because she's usually part of our group, you know. So we waited for her to, you know, we ate and we hung out in our camp a little bit and, like, talked and what have you. Nothing, like, shooting the shit, basically. And then Tammy came along and was like, all right, you guys are next. I'm just going to go get supplies and I'll come back. She came back and we had this tent set up. Ave and Steph have like this big Viking tent, you know, like it's like canvas and white and like very impressive. I posted pictures on Twitter of our camp, and you can see the inside of that tent is where we put the ritual circle. It's on Twitter if you want to see it. But so inside that tent is where we put the ritual circle. So we did the Rite of the Flayed there. So Saray knelt down, and then I got to do my whole, like, ceremonial sort of, like, Jen Vespin shaman speeching, you know, I like, Saray of the Crow, you know? Today you make a choice, you know? Today, through the force of your will, you will either be nothing or Jen Vespin, you know? I will not be able to help you through this. It is entirely on you to make this choice and to follow through with the, like, desire to succeed, you know? I had, like, kind of, like, a little speech. And then I was like, and when you stand, you will be Saray of the Jen Vespin, you know? Assuming your success, you know? And then I was like, are you ready? She's like, yes, I'm ready, shaman. And I went, all right. And so, like, cut the first mark on her face, like one body, and then she flinches, like, and then I give her the knife and I go, you have to do the rest. Like, you don't get to just resist through it, you have to do it yourself. You have to choose actively to hurt yourself to get what you want. Which I love as like a ritual thing. It's like so good. If you don't have self-mute, you can't do this. Obviously.
And she was like, her fake blood skills are amazing.
Oh, yeah.
She would, like, gather blood in her palm like this, so when she was cutting it, she would, like,
spill it on her face. Yeah.
And it was flying, like, over.
And, like, her robe is, like, dotted in it, and, like, there's, like, the knife is, like, covered in fake blood as she, like, draws it across, and, like, peels the scab of the, like, what do you call it, the plaster, like, off her face. It off her face. Oh. Yeah, it was, like, so cool. It was so cool. Props to Steph for good props, right? But so she went through all that, and then we got her washed up. We healed her. And then I remarked her with like my you know, paintbrush and black, you know, the markings that I do basically, as a Jen Vespin. So she's a Jen Vespin now, according to everything that the rules say. Which is awesome because it didn't happen out of game. There wasn't some random thing that like spurred a change. She didn't just do it on a whim. It was like part of her character development, and she looked so happy when it was done. Like she was like, yes, you know, like I wanted this and stuff. And I talked to her about it a little after, like you made this decision like on your own and stuff, you know, and she's like, yes, I did. And I said, like, I spoke to Kython earlier, and he said that at every chance he tried to dissuade you because he wanted you to make the decision on your own. He didn't want to seem like he was, like, you know, trying to get you to do it, which is awesome. Like, it's just really cool role play. I really enjoy, like, some deep character shit like that. It makes me really happy. But I had more shit to worry about because it was time to do a ritual. My first ever ritual. Like, Aeryn's first one. The only one I've ever done. I lead cast it, and we fucked it up.
Yep.
Yeah. But it was okay.
Yeah. It turned out all right.
So the way the way the witchcraft circle works is you, as part of the ritual, you lay down rope or vines. You lay down rope or vines, and then you cut your palm, and you spit in it, and you cover the rope or vine with your blood.
Yeah.
Basically. And then that blood is like absorbed into the circle, and then that creates a circle of blood on the ground, and that's the witchcraft circle, basically. Like, that's the ritual. That's what you do. So I looked at Amon before we were starting, and I'm like, are you going to help me with this? Like, do you want to help me with this?
Yeah.
And I know that she's having, like, this internal struggle, you know? Because she's never taken, like, a witchcraft spell buff from me or anything. Yeah. But I helped her with her light circle, and now I'm asking for help. And if she leaves me alone, that says something, you know? So like, what was the thought process there? How'd you like, go about that?
Well, there's the not getting smited by Sybil was a big thing, because that meant that, like, the question could be asked.
Yeah. The whole, like, while we were doing the light ritual, we didn't get fucked over.
Yeah. So, and then it just, I think, so she was, like, having this, like, debate in her head where she's, like, trying to figure out, it's like, okay, is this right or is this wrong? And then she was just, wait, put all this aside. No one's here to help Aeryn, and I care about her. I don't want her to blow up.
I don't want her to die, so I'm gonna help.
Yeah. And I'll figure out how I feel about this afterwards.
So I got the light weaver of Sybil to help me with my witchcraft ritual, which I call it a win. But so both of us are sitting there. We got some of Steph's, like, fake blood.
Yeah.
We covered our hands in it, you know, and we're just, like,
using the same knife.
Yeah. Squelching it along the rope. It was gross feeling. It was, like, horrible. It was really nasty, but it was also so cool. You know, like, I love when stuff requires a little bit of theatrics.
Yeah.
You know, like fake blood is one of those things that, like, really changes the scene from being kind of mundane into being, like, kind of visceral, you know, and it's really cool. And the rope is, like, all the paracord that I've got is, like, all soaked in it.
And
It's,
then it, like, stays on your hand for the next day.
It does. Yeah, it really does. If you don't, like, wash it off with, like, soap or whatever, you end up with, like, bloody hands for the next day. And I just left it, and it eventually, like, came off on its own.
It stayed on your nails, though.
Yeah.
Like, your nails were, like, bloody the entire event.
Yeah. But so we did this, and then we finished the ritual, and we looked at Tammy, and Tammy went, I wasn't watching closely enough, but did either of you spit in your hand? And we're like, no. Fuck, I wanted to lie. I wanted to lie so bad. But I was like, I didn't spit in my hand. Neither did Siobhan, because I didn't tell her to, and I was trying to do, like, this tutoring thing. Yeah. And she's like, takes a black stone, plop, you know, like, into the bag. So extra black stone in there, shakes it up. But to be fair, I'm using a level 4 slot for a level 1 ritual, so we have 4 whites.
Yeah.
So we still got a good chance to succeed. And I go, like, like, pull out a stone, boom, white, we got it. No problem. First shot, we did it. But this was an interesting ritual because we were doing it and other stuff was happening around us, like, all the time. Like, people were walking by, people were coming up and asking about, like, whether they could come into the camp.
Yeah.
And, like, Kython and Saray were like, fuck off, basically.
Oh, I didn't even, like, I didn't even pay attention. I was so focused that I could not. Okay.
I had, like, my peripheral, like, sort of ears on, you know, in case, like, someone came around or, like, I heard footsteps, like, coming around the camp. Because it's only a failure if one of us is injured or if something enters the ritual circle that shouldn't. If I do something that's not in the ritual, it's not a failure. So if someone came around, I could incant a spell and, like, put them down and then keep going. Like, without that being a failure. Yeah. So I had my, like, sort of ears on that one. But yeah, so, like, we just did it in the center of camp, like, in the tent. So, like, people were walking around and doing things, and, like, I informed the rest of the tribe, this is fucking important. don't let anybody ruin it or step on it or like whatever. Like if you don't want to die, you know. So it went well. But then I had one last ritual to do, and this is the one I'm really excited about.
Yeah. Well, this. I have no idea what happened in this one because I was like on the outside.
Yeah.
Imogen didn't even want to watch.
So this is a ritual to summon. And now once the circle is done, I needed to cast a ritual with that circle. Why have a circle and then not cast a ritual in it, right?
Well,
I mean, except for you, because you get blesses and stuff from yours. Mine doesn't do that. Mine only gives me benefits if I cast more rituals, right?
Or if you want to collect blood.
Or if I want to collect blood, yeah. But so I wanted to cast another ritual because I had it. It's level 1. I can use a level 3 slot. It's fine. Like, it's a good chance to succeed. And this ritual was to summon a blood imp. And this imp is like soul linked to me. You know, it's like my imp, like a familiar kind of. And if the imp dies, I die. Like spirit sever death if the imp is killed. And it gets bound to a physical form that of your choosing that's put into the circle. Or if you don't put anything, plot can say what it is. Yeah, basically.
Oh, okay.
So like you just summon the blood imp itself, and then it just is an imp, you know, or whatever. Like plot can say. Yeah. But it gets bound to the thing you put into the circle. So I got a toad, one of my toad fizz reps. You guys have seen my toads. I think I've shown you before. I have a bunch of plastic toads that I use for like the race change toad spell. So I got one of my toads, put it in the ritual circle, and we started the ritual. And so this ritual, I didn't know how to braid leather cord. I don't know how to braid things. Okay, like I don't have that skill. I have like me, Violet. I don't know how to braid things. So before this ritual, I was like practicing with this cord, and when Ave was like, "It's really easy. Just 2 over, 2 under, 2 over, 2 under. It's really easy." And I'm like, "Okay, works. It's going good." You know. And then for the ritual, I'm sitting there going like, "Okay, I have 10 minutes. I need to braid this leather cord. I've got like 3 strips of leather. I need to braid it into a leash." To represent the leash of my like familiar. Yeah. It doesn't have to be attached to the familiar, but it represents like the connection between myself and the familiar, right? So you braid it into a leather cord, and then you cover it in a unit of your blood. So more blood for me, you know, more cut in my hand. This is fake blood, rubbing it over this leather cord. Yeah. But I had 10 minutes, so I had to pace it out so that I didn't finish braiding. And then just be sitting there after I've done the blood. Because I wanted to make sure that I made, like, the whole ritual work. Yeah. You know what I mean? So yeah, we braided I braided the cord. And I remember saying, you, like, looking at me like, what do you know, I'm like, the circle will help me.
Before the ritual.
Before the ritual. I'm like, the circle will help me. Because the way the witchcraft circle works is... For any other witchcraft ritual cast in the witchcraft circle, you flip a coin. If that coin flip is called correctly, the ritual succeeds, no matter what the pull is. The pull doesn't matter. You don't even have to pull. If you flip and succeed, you don't need to pull stones. Yeah. Which is like, I could do a level 10 ritual and just hope I get the 50-50 flip. Yeah. And if I do, I do. Yeah. You know?
And it doesn't matter how much you screwed up.
No, it really doesn't. Yeah. The bag is irrelevant. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, I braided this cord, I covered it in my blood, and I'm like looking up at Tammy, like waiting for her to call a ritual end, you know what I mean? Like as I'm like covering it in blood, and I'm doing it like slowly, you know? And then she goes like, yeah, ritual's over. You know, like, whew, okay. All right, let's do this, you know? And she goes like, all right, flip first. And she pulls out a gold coin, and she's like, Rose of Dragon, you know? I'm like, dragon. She flips it. Dragon. I didn't even have to pull. My second ritual, I didn't even need to pull. The witchcraft circle succeeded it for me. Just because it's witchcraft. I love witchcraft. But yeah, so I got my little imp. And the cool thing the imp can do is it's permanent. It's permanent. That is so rare in Underworld, okay, to have a permanent thing. Like, magic stuff always expires. Like, always. It's like a year, 2 years, whatever. Yeah. But, like, it expires. The imp, permanent. It's permanent, it's forever, until it dies. And if I die, it resurrects with me. So, the cool thing the imp does is it stores a spell for me. So it keeps us, it learns a spell. It doesn't steal it from me, but it learns it on its own. And it has to learn a spell that I know. So I taught it Dark Pact so that it could life people.
Yeah.
And get letters for me. You know, letters of their true name for me. And alternately, the imp is not a familiar. It can act on its own. It can move on its own. It can move its own behest. I asked Plot about this. Because if I treat it badly, it doesn't like me and it won't do stuff for me.
Yeah.
Which is why it had a granola bar in its little pouch with it. You know, I was trying to treat it all nice.
Oh, that's really cute.
Yeah. But if it does like you, it like loves you unconditionally. You know what I mean? Like everything you ask it, it loves you, it hugs you real good, and all that business. And it acts on its own, basically, unless you tell it to do something. So
sounds like a house elf.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
So it can, while I am dying, Dark Pact me. It can.
Oh my goodness.
By the rules, I have like a contingency life in the form of this toad.
That's really good.
And it's permanent. It's forever.
Good. Yeah.
And I can get it to learn more stuff if I get the silver cord and the bronze cord.
Yeah.
And the gold cord. But yeah, so it can Dark Pact me. Which is really, really helpful because I don't learn the letters because it learns the letters because it's the imp. It's a separate being. So because I know my full true name, it doesn't. So it can, So it can, like, learn letters of my true name.
Yeah.
But if it loves me, it doesn't matter.
Well, yeah. But, I mean, if it learns your entire true name, that seems dangerous.
Then I'll be like, hey, imp, forget it. And then the imp will be like, I love you, so yes, okay. Yeah. There you go. Here you go. That's how it works. It's great. It's great. Continue. Hey, the convoy back to Ontario watching on our way home. Hi, guys. Hi. I'm glad that you're making your way back.
Drive safely, please.
Yeah, please. Don't be no distracted driving. But yeah. So I'm very excited about having a blood imp. It's very exciting. These are my first like baby rituals, and they make me very happy. And I'm looking forward to casting more rituals because it was a good experience.
Yeah.
And I want to eat a flaw at some point. You know what I mean? And like do the bad stuff. I want to do the bad stuff too.
It is only a matter of time.
Yeah, I know. Especially if I keep meddling. So yeah, that's cool. It was a cool thing that we got to do. I'm trying to remember Saturday. What else did we do Saturday?
Did Shattered Elves start coming out?
No, because the Ice Elves were Saturday night.
Oh, okay.
It was the Dwarves and the Ice Elves were Saturday afternoon. So after we'd done all this ritual stuff, we went to go see what everybody else was doing. And somebody came running and they're like, demons! And I'm like, sweet. You know, I love demons. I love going and fucking killing demons. It's my whole jam. Send more demons to me so they may be murdered. But yeah, so somebody called out demons and we went walking over, and it wasn't demons. It was dwarves and ice elves, and they were having a fight about something.
I don't know.
I don't really know what the deal was. And I don't really know whether the ice elves stabbed us in the back after we tried to do stuff for them against the dwarves. But it's not my problem.
Well, I mean, maybe the ice elves wanted to stab the Leandrites in the back.
Could be.
Because there are a lot of Leandrites.
Could be like the elves and stuff. But it seemed weird because like we'd made a choice and the game seemed to want us to make a choice, and then that choice didn't matter and we killed everyone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It seemed weird to me.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's fine. So these dwarves and these ice elves are like fighting. And then one of the dwarves, like this like Rathanok follower who's like the red dragon, you know, like the dragon of war sort of thing. This Rathanok follower like challenged the visiting paladin of Leandra, Enna, to a duel. Right? Like yeah, duel. And I tried to like mediate some terms because
Yeah.
nobody was saying terms. They were just saying let's duel, and
Yeah,
that's
it's like,
it's not a good stuff. I'm like, all right, here's the deal. If you lose, fuck off. We don't need your dwarf asses in our town anymore.
like, just go away.
This is not exactly what I said because Aeryn isn't. That's not what Aeryn says. But and then the dwarf's like, well, what if I win? I'm like, what do you want? He's like, I want the head of the paladin. You know, I'm like, I looked at Anna. I'm like, so, like, I'm not gonna make this deal for you. Like this is your head. You know, it's like, she's like, I can take him. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. I'm like, all right. Good. Perfect. Let's do this. And they squared off, and it did not go well. It did not go well. So, the first thing that happens is we realize that this dwarf is a Rathnok follower and probably a Dragon Knight or something.
Yeah, Dragon Knight versus Paladin is just...
doesn't go well for the Paladin. Because Anna tried to Pillar of Fire this guy twice, and he was just like, resist Divine. Resist Divine.
Yeah.
You know? Which is really bad. It's really bad. And then they started fighting, and the dwarf got a dismember off on one arm. Yeah. And I was like, okay, Anna can still win with one arm. Anna's pretty good at this. Yeah. And then dismembered the other arm, and I was like, no! No, I'm gonna have to break this deal. I can't let him take Anna's head. It was like, fuck. Like, I don't like... Aeryn doesn't like going up against her word, right? Yeah. Like, she says a thing, and generally she wants to do that thing. Yeah. But I don't owe this dwarf fuck all, and he's a dragon follower, so fuck him. Yeah. Basically. So Anna's running around with no arms, trying to, like, dodge and, like, do anything, and I'm like, does Anna have anything she can do at this point? No! No, you can't do anything, you got no fucking arms! And so she falls. And the Dragon Knight starts, like, cutting into Anna and, like, trying to take her head, right? Mm. And I'm standing there like, do I stop this? Do I stop this? And I'm like, fuck it, a fight's gonna happen. And then I run up and I'm like, horror, you know? And I, like, push the Dragon Knight away from Anna's corpse. So he's like, you know, like, pulls back as I'm, like, standing over Anna. I'm like, back up! You know, like... Don't fucking touch her, you know. And at that point, he's like, "Oh, you broke the deal," you know, like, and everything fucking hell broke loose. Yeah. Like, the dwarves came to attack us, and I'm like, "All right, the dwarves are gonna attack us, and the ice elves are gonna help." And then the ice elves started stabbing us in the back, and I'm like literally, "Fuck you guys!" Yeah. It was really annoying. But I mean, I enjoyed it because it was against like humanoids, and I really like fighting. Yeah. I really like fighting like other player races, sort of thing. Like dwarves and ice elves, like I can handle. You know, they have player skills. They do player things, and it like makes sense that they do those things. So we had a good old fucking fight on our hands. I didn't even try and get Anna back up because I knew she wouldn't take my Dark Pact. Like no Leandrite would take a Dark Pact from me. Well, that's not true. Some have. Several have, actually. I have a couple of Leandrite letters, but not like paladins. that's the thing. So like, I defend Anna's body until somebody else can get there and do something about it. And then I'm immediately like beset by other things, and I got to deal with like fights, and I'm trying to pick my battles and like weaknessing a dwarf with like a big sword, and then like, you know, stepping over and like horroring this guy away from like some, you know, non-combatants, and like sleep, like that kind of stuff. I burned a lot of spells in this fight, like trying to do stuff. Luckily, the one thing that made my ass pucker a little bit on this one was I got an execute from behind, like one of the ice elves came behind me and was like, body execute, you know. It was Josh like running by, body execute, but he didn't say surprise body execute, so he just said body execute, and I'm like, dodge, like digging through this other person's guts to get another dodge, like I was looting him, but then I started killing him instead. Stuff like that. It's just good. Yeah,
so like when the dwarves were running away, so they were leaving at some point, they're like, "You've broken your deal," and he has like You know that little elf who throws the shiny knives?
Yeah.
Like, she throws silver knives
Yeah,
all the time.
like
She has
everywhere.
she has like 20 of these silver knives.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's really cool. Like,
Yeah.
to see someone using throwing weapons as, like, their main source of damage is
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah. So he's going off with one of these knives. Like, I'll be back. And yeah. It's like, come back. How dare you? So throw some spells at this
That's why you
dragon
guys
guy.
were, like, all the way down the other
Oh,
side.
yeah. Because Iman was chasing him.
Yeah.
She was having great decisions.
Every couple of, like, combat moments, I'd, like,
Yeah.
look up and be like, Kython, Saray, Sibin's probably somewhere, Iman.
Yeah.
You know, like, trying to look to see if everybody's okay and
Yeah.
everybody's on their feet. But then you're, like, all the way down the field, and I don't, you know, like,
Yeah.
I can't see you, so...
No, it was. Well, I mean, it got a little rough, and some people came over at some point because he kind of like took my leg out, and I was like, "Ooh,
Yeah.
can't do anything here." But he kept on threatening to come back. He's like, "I'm gonna come back," and I'm like, "Good, come back, bring more dragon worshippers.
Fight me.
Yeah, we'll kill them all."
Apparently, he did come back at the end of game.
Okay,
Cool.
cool.
Like very end of game, like to the elf camp to like get in his head, basically.
Yeah.
But we weren't around, so
Yeah.
we missed it. But apparently, he did come back.
Okay.
But anyway, so that was kind of like the big kickoff fight for us, this event, which is interesting because it was like Saturday afternoon by the time there was like a big brawl for us.
Yeah.
I
think so. The previous night there was stuff going on, but
we were just asleep.
Yeah.
Somebody kept telling me about like, oh, there's this necromancer witch like
Yeah,
looking for
yeah.
students and stuff. Like, oh, I want to kill him so bad. You know?
Yeah.
But it was Brad, and Brad got sick, so
Yeah.
he had to go home. So we didn't see him again, but that's okay because Brad, taking care of himself.
Yeah.
Right.
And
that was during the Ice Elf mod, I think, which is the next thing.
Yeah. No, that was part of Shadow Elves.
No, it wasn't.
For Brad?
No, yeah, it was part of because we were hiding in the circle.
Yeah, that was for Shattered Elves.
That was for Ice Elves. We never went
So
to the,
many elves.
We never went to the circle for for Shattered Elves. Not a single time. We were all scared of the Ice Elves because we'd heard news of Shattered Elves. Do you remember?
Oh, right, and they turned out to be
They
ice
turned out
elves.
to be fucking weak as shit
Yeah.
and just folded immediately as soon as we
Yeah.
attacked them.
Yeah.
But everybody was so nervous.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves. We're talking about stuff that hasn't happened yet. Actually, this is probably the next relevant thing. Right?
Yeah.
Saturday afternoon was like the Ice Elves and the Dwarves.
The ley line.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's ley line stuff. So, a lot of the, like, plot points in Zenithstrand in the last, like, couple of games have been ley line related. And the ley line is, like, the natural font of magic, you know what I mean? That, like, spreads across the land as it does, you know? And where magic is drawn from, basically. And there's, like, an open ley line area in the fort up on the hill. And people kept fucking messing with it.
Well, guilty.
Yeah, I mean, you also messed with it. But like, lots of stuff wanted to get at it.
Yeah.
Brood as
Yeah.
well.
Oh, yeah.
We had some Brood hybrids show up, which was weird because we haven't seen Brood in a long time, but I was happy to kill them.
Yeah.
And then nothing really happened with that after. They were just there, and then there wasn't any other big Brood stuff. But, excuse me. Leyline. Why were we in the fort again? Who was attacking us for that? When you looked into the ley line,
There wasn't any attacking going on.
No, it was just like there's a ley line. We should check it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we went to go check out the ley line and see if we could learn anything about it. And of course, Iman decided to like do some Weaver stuff and like look into the ley line using dark lore.
Yeah. So kind of like the overarching story that my character's been interested in, at least, is like there's an orb of power, and that orb of power is corruption.
Yeah, it's the Silt, the orb of corruption.
Yeah. And in terms of corruption itself, that is kind of what so Aeryn really wants to like get all these other witches and put out all the other witches in their places and stuff like that, and make sure that her people are safe and the forest is safe. Whereas Iman is very much about like making sure that the forests are safe, and that's where they get agreeing on.
Yeah.
And corruption is like the antithesis of that. This is the source of all of the things that are bad in this world. So this is probably like the thing that is the most terrifying and the scariest and the thing that, you know, we can do nothing about. So Iman wants to learn about this, and the ley line was looking like it was corrupted. So she goes to it and uses her, like, she has a way of summoning spirits to her to ask them questions about a certain thing. So she uses that spell on the ley line. And at this point, the ley line had been responding to spells in very strange ways.
Yeah, weird stuff had been happening.
Yeah.
Like, when you cast stuff into a ley line, you're asking for trouble.
Yep. So, Dark Lore, tell me about the Orb of Corruption ley line. So it did.
Told you a lot of stuff and burned your eyeballs out of your head.
Yep. And then I could see through the eyes of all of the cultists of the orb at once.
Oh, shit.
And the orb started speaking to me and telling me that all roads lead to Zenithstrand. Like, I'm coming, like, this is just futile. The cycle is happening again.
You didn't tell me this.
It kind of did.
How did you not tell Aeryn you spoke to the fucking orb of...
I didn't.
You didn't tell me.
Iman was very disoriented, too. Like, she didn't remember. Like,
Yeah.
she didn't remember, and then it came back to her kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just worried about your, like...
Her eyeballs.
You're, like, fucking looking into the ley line, and then suddenly exploding, like, you know, your eyes all burnt out and shit. I'm like, oh, that's bad, you know? And, like, people came over and helped you immediately, obviously. But yeah, it was... That's cool. I didn't know about that part. So that's cool. Yeah. Yeah, so the ley line... people kept messing with it over the course of the event.
Yeah.
The Vesmerites decided jumping into it was a good plan. They've done it before. It's just like, stop messing with the ley line, people. The ley line is not your personal haunt of magic. The ley line is the fucking natural source of magic in the land. And if you fuck it up, I'm gonna come fuck you up. That's how it works, friends. My magic doesn't come from the ley line. I don't even need it to work to fuck you up.
Well, half of your magic doesn't.
Yeah, but the good half doesn't. Okay.
Yeah.
Psionics,
yeah.
Psionics is only good for killing demons, whereas witchcraft is good for killing everyone.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's the opposite for Iman. It's like,
Yeah. But yeah, so people kept messing with it, and basically, like, eventually we were like, no, everybody go away. Just leave it alone.
Yeah.
Everybody fuck off. But, like, some NPCs come and, like, mess with it and stuff. We gotta defend it and, like, defend the fort and all that stuff.
Which is really... So this is the first time I've, like, really been at that side and used the fort. Defending a fort is really cool.
It's
like,
cool.
a physical fort, it has, like, wall... I mean, it's half built, so we pretend the other half...
We pretend the other half exists, yeah.
But has, like, a gate and a gatehouse, so you can stand on top of the gatehouse and, like,
Yep.
elemental storm.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
It was very cool. It's like half of a castle, you know, so you got like one wall with a door in it and then another wall with the gate in it and like stairs up to the gatehouse and like it's really awesome.
Yeah.
Not often do we get cool props like that, cool set pieces like that.
Yeah. Venues?
Yeah, cuz like not a lot of places have forts.
Just blanket statement.
I mean, I don't know why. Everyone should have a fort, but
I mean, if I had land, I would build a fort.
I would build a fort.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, ley line stuff, and then we kept getting news that the Shattered Elves were coming. Like, we kept hearing this from various sources. The Shattered Elves are coming. There's gonna be Shattered Elves. The Shattered Elves are coming.
Which Iman doesn't really care about, except by
for
proxy.
me. Yeah. And so the Shattered Elves are like, what do you call them? The Shattered Elves are like the servants of the murderer of elves. If there was a god of elf murder, the Mordegeist would be that. And the Mordegeist is like the leader of the Shattered Elves, you know? And so the Shattered Elves are like the minions that come out before the big monster does, you know? And they try and like capture elves and sacrifice them so the Mordegeist can be out longer. That's kind of the way it works. Also, thank you. Attack check. Yeah. Evolve says Aeryn is the Sass Master. Yeah, Aeryn is Aeryn. But lots of people make that mistake. It's just good. It's fine. I appreciate you. But yeah, so not a great thing. Not a great thing for me. I'm an elf, so I care about that. I mean, I care about that to the extent that I care about that. And my own health. I'm not like, I must save all elves, because I'm not a Leander follower. But I want to save me. Right?
Like, yeah, Saray,
and Saray and Kython and my tribe, obviously. Yeah. But so we heard lots of tell of the Shattered Elves coming, and people were like jumpy about this shit, right? So like sometime in late Saturday afternoon, I get a message from Ilias, who's like, "Oh, Thalan wants to see you down at camp."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "All right, let's go see Thalan." I don't usually go down to the Leander camp because I don't have a huge reason to do so. Also, they put up witch marks of witchcraft, which is really rude. Because if I roll in there and I eat a death, it's just a drain of resources for everyone. There's no reason for me to wander down there and get fucked. Okay? It's not a good plan. It's not that I don't trust them. It's that I don't want to eat random spells. So, anyway, went down there to see Thalan, and so he looks at me all serious, like, you know, he like sits down and he looks at me all serious, like, while I'm standing there with my arms folded, and Mon's there too, and goes, "So what's your plan for the Shattered Elves?" And I look at him, and I'm like, "I'm gonna kill them." He's like, "Yeah, but like, what's your plan?" I'm like, "When they come to kill me, I'm going to kill them." He's like, "Right. Well, we're thinking we're gonna be like here, you know?" And I'm like, "Yes, that makes sense. You're often here." Like, I'm not really sure what he wants from me here, you know what I mean? He's like, "You're welcome to come and like take shelter here as well." I'm like, if it makes sense for me to make my way across the entire field to here, then I will. Right? If you guys are fighting Shattered Elves over here, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to kill them. And if we're fighting Shattered Elves over there, I hope you're going to come over there and kill them. The Shattered Elves are not indestructible. And I had to go on this rant because it seemed like he thought the Shattered Elves were like indestructible. And I'm like, the Shattered Elves are demons. They're not indestructible. They aren't the Mordegeist. We don't need to run away from the Shattered Elves. We just need them to die. You know, like, that's it. That's all. So it was like this weird meeting of like, we need a plan to cower behind all of these walls. No, we don't. Like, just kill them when they come. If we all work together, it's not gonna be hard. Even in an open field, if we're all there, they die and we win. Like, anyway, it was one of those things where I was just like, all right, cool. So I'm gonna come here when there's fighting here, and when there's not fighting here, I'm gonna expect that only some of the people here will be over there. Yeah. You know? Which is how it basically went, which is okay. I don't mind that at all. I just like when it comes to stuff that like isn't a god or isn't like a super scary specific person that you need to target against. Aeryn's plan is just like, if it threatens me, I blow it up. You know, like don't. That's it. So the afternoon turned to evening, and then it got dark and it got colder. Yeah, you know, as it does. I got my cloak on. You know, like get it
down to like single digits.
Yeah, get all kitted up for appropriate coldness. And then somebody came screaming across the fucking site, going like, "Shattered Elves! Like, Shattered Elves are here!" I'm like, okay, all right. We get up, we like, you know, kit our stuff up, we keep our eye out. Yeah. Turns out it wasn't Shattered Elves. Somebody was just like full of fucking panic. Yeah. And decided to tell us it was Shattered Elves because they were full of panic. And people were like all moving, they were all terrified. Like everybody was like going up on the hill near the fort, like doing all this other stuff, and it was just ice elves. It was ice elves. And I have to say, like, I was caught in the panic too, because like there were like what, 12 or 14 of them?
Well, there are 12 or 14 of them, but also there were like 8 of us. Yeah. So like, you know, we were outnumbered. I think it was reasonable to run around.
We were outnumbered, so we tried to sort of like keep a keep a level head and like stay down low and like not engage directly. There was a lot of like, if they attack those people, then we'll come in from the back and like kill them. Kind of stuff that we were doing where we were watching where they moved and we were watching where they went and stuff from the woods.
And it was really cool because they were like marching around in formation and they were like yelling out battle orders and stuff like that. So like,
the role play of it was really cool. They were like very organized, like military. You know.
Yeah, I love it when NPCs are like role playing with each other. Yeah, like that is just so great. Even if they don't know that players are watching, it's not like. No, you're in the game world.
Yeah, they're like, go check that out, you know, like, and stuff like that. Yeah, like that kind of thing. It's just like very game worldy, and you're like looking at it and watching it, and it's happening. It's cool. But so so there's these ice elves, and we sort of stayed hidden a lot of the time, and like we went to the circle, like the light circle, with a bunch of people to like if we needed to put up a circle of protection and be safe in the light circle. From these elves. But eventually we got to a point where, like, I think it was the Sphere Knights came, like, Archer came over, Ash came over, and was like, these guys are just, like, they're ice elves. I've been killing them, like, one at a time. And, like, skirmishing them and, like, running away and skirmishing them. And he's like, we can take them. Like, this whole group of us, 100%, we got it. And I'm like, you're right, we do. With you and like your people and us and our people, we can do this. No problem. And so we like came up the hill to like fight them. And I'm expecting some serious resistance because the way that the fear is in us, you know what I mean? A little bit of like, we've been hiding and cowering from these people. So there's a little bit of like nervous fear, right? But I walk up and they're like, get in line, formation. And they've got their shields and I'm up and I go, sleep. And like two of them are down immediately. And I'm like, oh, okay, it's going to be this kind of fight. Like, it's not actually going to be that hard. These guys don't have 6 defenses apiece, you know, like, and it's not one of those things. It's not their secretly demons. So we meat grindered them a little bit. It was tough though because we were like even numbers. And the thing about NPCs is they don't have to worry about burning their skills because they just burn skills and then they die and then they come back. You know what I mean? Whereas we have to care about how many skills we have, and as we get worn down on skills, there's less and less we can do, right? On the next wave, and the wave after that, and the wave after that. But, like, we kept fighting these guys, and eventually they went away. Eventually we killed them. Enough of them, I think. That they...
And I think, like, also as we were fighting, other people kind of came in.
One of them talked to me and was like, we're here to get Shalabash. Like, we're here to kill Shalabash. Like, why are you defending Like, I'm not defending Shalabash. I'm defending myself. You're on my land marching around with swords. Threatening people. Either put your swords down or die. Like, I'm happy to talk to you about who the fuck this Shalabash. I don't even know who Shalabash is. You know what I mean? I don't know what you're talking about.
Like I squat over here.
Like,
what do you want from me?
Like, get out of my face. I'm not here to be like defending anyone. I'm here to just kill you because you're here. Like, put your swords down, we'll have a nice conversation, but you're not gonna, so I'm not gonna. Like, it's one of those things. There was that thing where, like, everybody went to go fight some Amarath, but it turned out to be ghouls.
Right. Yep. And then everyone also was thinking that was Shattered Elves.
So everybody, like, went to go fight these ghouls, and it was, like, this mod a little bit further away, so, like, not everybody was involved, and you could hear the laughing. Right? Because ghouls, they laugh. They go like all the time.
Puppet creepy things.
Yeah, they're creepy ghouls.
Yeah, they like wheeze and laugh.
Yeah.
Like, they laugh like they're breathing.
Yeah, they have like a very like a pained laugh almost, like a constant thing. And people are like, they're laughing, Shattered Elves. I'm like, no, it's ghouls. It's fucking ghouls. Shattered Elves don't laugh like that. It's so identifiable. Why are you all so panicked about Shattered Elves? Shattered Elves is a fucking boogeyman of the event.
Iman's theory is that, like, you get enough Leandrites together in a circle, and they just start, like, spooking themselves up. Like, they just start, like, generating.
I mean, with the Mordecai's thing too, right? Like, they're like, he's coming. He's definitely coming today, and he never did. So that was Saturday night, I think. Like, after the Ice Elves, I think we went to bed, right?
Yeah, I think so, because then it got cold.
Yeah, and we needed to retreat to our bunker.
Yeah.
So we went to sleep after the ice elf murder. And when I say murder, I mean fight, because they had weapons, so fuck them. So we went to bed, snuggled up. Yeah. Because it's a little cozy tent.
Blankets.
Like, it's very cold. Cling.
Be like, yes, Aeryn. Yes, scary, scary Aeryn.
Yeah, Aaron's like, this is just for body heat. Fuck you. I'm not being affectionate. Oh, this was the night I had to get up we had to get up with, like, nothing on.
Why were we getting up again?
Because the spiders. And Kythin was hurt. And, like, Thelonious was dragging him over.
Oh, but this was... Yeah.
Yeah. So we're like cozy down for bed. I've taken off all my gear, like, because you can't sleep with like a fucking belt on with like a bunch of stuff, and like the robe doesn't really work. You gotta So I've got like my black t-shirt, and my leggings, and that's it. Yeah. And my boots are outside.
Yeah, and I've got like my armor off, and I'm just like wearing like my pants, my shirt, and like my little like shawl thing.
And so we hear outside. We hear that like noise that is like an insect NPC. Yeah, you know what I mean? And before this, you'd given me my braid.
Yeah.
Right? So Iman had done some like shaman stuff with a new vocation, and because Aeryn has that little pouch that has the word Aeryn written as a wasp. I don't know if you've seen it. It's so cool, and I should get it and show you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna get it.
It's very relevant.
Show you what it is, because this is like the new hotness.
Yeah. So Iman's wolf has been like being really unruly and unsettly, and just kind of like she had this moment of where it possessed her body.
This is Aaron's belt.
Yeah. So. And as a result of that, she needed to go and get a piece of it out, and Aeryn was the appropriate vessel.
Yeah, I'm a vessel. Sorry, stuff's falling off my belt, and I gotta make sure it doesn't stay falling off my belt, because I need that stuff.
Yeah.
But here, actually, could you just hold something? Hold the thing. So, you can see here, that wasp is definitely a wasp, but it also says Aeryn. A-E-R-Y-N. Cool, right? It's so cool. It's the best thing. But yeah, so I have a cool pouch that Iman made me. And that mark serves as her like braid totem for Iman's like pack, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
It's called a braid in game, just so that it doesn't like align with any like shamanic stuff from real life.
Yeah.
But so that's my totem. And so the wasp totem means that I get innate animal kinship with insects. Because, like, the genus of thing that the wasp is in is insect, which is, like, if you had a wolf, it would be, like, canines.
Yeah.
If you had a cat or, like, a panther, it would be, like, cats. If you had a, whatever. It's, like, that kind of thing. Yeah. Like, you get innate kinship based on what the animal is. So I have innate kinship insects. Which is fantastic for Aeryn, to be honest. Just imagine her cultivating wasp nests everywhere. And being like...
I'm just imagining Aeryn like covered, like, you know how bee suits get like covered in bees?
Yeah.
And just like, oh no, that is so dangerous. Yeah. Just like wasps.
Yeah. Just wasps.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's a cool thing that I have. And we heard spiders or like something insecty. I knew it was an insect thing because of the noises the NPCs were making. It was either brood or an insect. Like those were the noises. And either way, I'm gonna get up. So I hear people yelling and combat starting, and then I hear Kythin like fighting.
Yeah.
Like I know the sound of like him swinging his swords, and I can hear his voice. When he's calling like 2 normal, 2 iron, 2 normal, 2 iron. I can hear it, and then he falls over and there's nothing, and I'm like, fuck. I don't want to get up out of bed because it's freezing as hell. And like I don't want to get up out of bed, but I do it anyway. I pull the blankets back. I'm like, I gotta go. and I don't have time to put my boots on. I just unzip the tent. I step out in my bare feet and my t-shirt, and it's like 1 degree. You know what I mean? It's like really cold for that gear.
Yeah.
And Thelonious is like limping towards me with like 2 spiders like attacking him, and it's not doing anything to him because he's got like threshold.
Yeah, and like as you're running out and like going to the pitch of dark night, and like Iman is like kind of like stumbling out after you. Yeah. Like, oh no, what's going on?
Yeah. So I run out and I can see Thelonious like stumbling down the pathway, and he's got Kython on one arm.
Yeah.
And somebody else on the other. I can't remember who it was. I think it was Victor, actually.
Yeah.
And he's got, like, 2 of my people, you know, and he's bringing them to me. And I'm coming towards him, I'm like, what happened? He's like, spiders, and the spiders are, like, hitting him, you know? And, like, they can't do anything to me, and then, like, I get past him, and I step in front of the spiders, and I go, like, innate insect kinship, you know? Like, and the spiders stop, and they're looking at me, you know? And they go, like, and they're looking at me, and they don't... And the white headbanded shaper behind them was Lori.
Oh, yeah.
And it wasn't Lori. It was Lori in the morning with the bees. But,
okay, yeah.
It was somebody else, and they were looking at me like, And I'm like, shaman stuff.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm like, all right, spiders. We're friends. You know, like, this isn't where the food is. Like, I am also an insect. You know, like, I am with you. I'm a spider as well. You know?
Yeah.
Like, we should go that way. You know? And I, like, tried to, like, shepherd the spiders. And I'm freezing. I'm doing this while I'm going, like, we should go that way. Just, like, just fucking fuck off. Like, I want to go back to bed. You know? And so I shepherd the spiders off. And I don't know where they go. It's just fucking not important. Right? As long as they're not in my camp, I don't care. But so I sent them away. And they, like, listened to me because I have kinship with them. And then I had to Dark Pact Kython to get him back up. And nobody died, but only because I fucking got out of bed, right? And that always feels good.
Yeah.
When you're like, I helped. You know?
Definitely. Like, Victor, like, Thelonious comes back to, like, throws Victor on the ground, and it's like, we need to fix him. And Iman's like, all right, I can do this. Can do this.
Did you cleansing light him?
Yeah, it was like, so I knew that Aeryn was around. I knew she had a dark pack. So it was Victor and then some other person that I didn't know.
Yeah, it was Kython.
No, there was the Ashanti.
Oh no, the NPC.
Yeah,
Tammy's NPC. Yeah.
Or trader person. I'm not sure, but it was like, Victor's someone I don't know. I know Aaron's around. Well, it's probably Aeryn could have this person's letter if she wants.
Yeah.
It's important to get Victor out.
Yeah, well, I had 2 Dark Pacts, right? Because I had the Dark Pact from my memory, and I had Dark Pact from the Toad.
Yeah.
So I Dark Pacted Kython, and then I Dark Pacted the NPC.
Yeah.
And that NPC turned out to be somebody that Victor wanted alive.
Oh, okay.
Like an Erasmus person.
Oh, yeah.
So I did him a favor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was like the niece of his Weaver. You know what I mean? Like his like Weaver contact.
Yeah.
So it would have been bad if she died.
Very bad.
She gave him a nice scroll.
Ooh.
Because like when I left, she was like, oh, Victor, I found something you might like, you know, and I was like handing it to Victor, but I was busy going to be like, fuck this, I'm fucking cold, you know, like go hide in my tent again. So that was the thing. Then the next morning he showed me the scroll. He's like, Shaman, can you read this? Because like he can't read rituals, right?
Yeah.
But I can. And this happens a lot. People come to me and they're like, can you read this? And I'm like, of course I can. Cool. You know. The next morning he handed me the scroll like while I was sitting around. I was like, Shaman, can you read this? Like, tell me what it is, because I got handed this, and I'm like, it's a dark ritual. Shroud of Darkness.
That's pretty cool.
The, like level 3 one that like prevents the sun from hurting you.
Yeah.
Which is good for dark elves.
Yep.
It works for dark elves.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it does.
That is really cool.
It trumps the racial.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Which is like, it's like with the undead, right?
Yeah.
So if you want dark elves to be healed during the day, Shroud of Darkness. It works.
It's really cool.
I'm just saying. Like, we're going to play dark elves soon, so we got to think about this stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I read the ritual, Shroud of Darkness. It's only got 1 charge. You know? And I'm like, it's not that valuable, Victor. You know?
Yeah.
He's like, fuck. Yeah. Value. But yeah, so we saved some people from some spiders. And when we woke up the next morning, we woke up to a sound that is a familiar sound. A sound like that sounded like
Yeah.
Or did we see them coming? Were we already awake?
We were already awake.
We were already awake, maybe having breakfast or something, and we saw these NPCs like bumbling their way across the field.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And as they got closer, we could hear they were buzzing.
Yeah.
And again, the power of innate insect kinship came in handy.
Yeah.
Because before they got into the camp, I like intercepted them
Yeah.
and sent them in a different direction.
And also, there's the sheet, so they didn't see anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because insect kinship doesn't mean that I like they have to stop attacking my friends or they have to listen to me at all, right? It just means they won't attack me. They won't take hostile action against me because I am like one of them, unless I attack them, obviously. So it's about trying to like mitigate the thing before there's enough of a problem elsewhere. So these big giant corrupted bees came around, and I was like, "There's no food over here. Go over that way." And they're like, "Bzzz." They're like, "What do I? It's good. It's good. I really like being able to influence bugs. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's a cool power.
Yeah, it is. Watch out, they're gonna be scorpions. You have like scorps.
Skirps.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was like the morning. We managed to avoid the morning annoyance mod.
Yeah.
Although apparently they were dangerous because they like some people got like really poisoned and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Because I thought for sure they were just like some bumbling like, you know, shitty like starter mod, but they weren't.
Yeah.
They weren't. They were hitting people with like slow poison and shit.
Yeah.
Which is gross. Did the whole arachnid insect thing ever come up? No, they're under the same classification in Underworld. Like spiders and giant bugs and stuff are all insects. So that's fine. The only thing that isn't is brood, which are like hive mind zerg type things, you know.
Chitinous monstrosities.
The bees had wither poison stings. Oof. I'm glad that I sent that away. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Fuck that. Although it would have been really funny to eye for an eye in.
But
you also get stinged.
They'd probably be immune.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know what the entire scope of my kinship ability is, but I'm sure somebody will soon call me on it and be like, "No." I'm like, "All right." We'll see.
Yeah.
I can kinship insects. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's why the mosquitoes don't bother me. There are a lot of mosquitoes this game. Many mosquitoes out in full force.
I've got a bunch of bumps.
Yeah.
You see my bumps?
I don't know.
Sure.
I don't know. Can they? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Over here and stuff. Lots of mosquito bites.
Skeeters.
But I mean, you come to expect that at LARP. Really.
Yeah.
In the summer, if you're LARPing, you're getting bit by mosquitoes. That's how it goes.
Especially like when there's a swamp next door.
Yeah. Ooh, swamp.
Yeah.
Well, we should talk about the Shattered Elves first, because that happened first. So, we did eventually get some Shattered Elves. Shattered Elves suck. I hate them. They're very annoying. Only because they don't respond to stuff the way they should, sometimes. I had a feeling some of them weren't taking the 4 times damage they should be taking, for example.
I think they're also really huge.
They did have really big stats.
Yeah.
I Shatter Skulled one, and she came up to me after game and was like, "That was a good Shatter Skull because I had 300 body."
Yeah.
You know, like.
Yeah.
But so, basically, for the rest of the event, Shattered Elves were the antagonists. Like Sunday onwards, it was Shattered Elves and more Shattered Elves and more Shattered Elves and more Shattered Elves. But the dream.
Yes.
So we took a little bit of a rest in the middle of the day.
Being like, sleep fitfully at night because it's so cold.
Yeah, it's like really cold.
time.
We're going to take a little nap during the pinnacle of the day sort of thing. And so Iman and Aeryn are like in the tent and, you know, white headbanded Tammy Shaper comes around and like goes, "Psst, Aeryn." I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Just have like the worst waking nightmare ever. Go." And I'm like, "Okay." And And so Iman's like lying there all relaxed and stuff.
Yeah,
you know,
I was literally asleep.
And then suddenly I like perk up and I like grab her by the shoulders. I'm like, Iman, are you okay? Iman, are you all right? Iman, you know, like, and I'm trying to like patch you up. I'm like, you know, like you're bleeding, you know, like in my mind you're like very injured and stuff. And even then, like you move and I'm like still focused on the spot where you are. And I like bust out of the tent and I'm like, Kaithin, help Iman. She's like really hurt. You know?
And I was like, Iman mind melds with Aeryn to be like, Aeryn, what's going on? Like, I'm here, I'm here.
And like Iman could see what I was seeing, this like horrible dream of like Iman being dead, and me not being able to do anything about it. Like my magic doesn't work and like all this other stuff. And I'm just having this like horrible lucid dream that like, or not lucid, but this horrible like nightmarish dream that like I can't, it's like waking that I can't like dispel, you know. It's not magic, it's just a thing that's happening in my head. And I could hear you, like Kaithin was like, what's going on? And you're like, I don't know, like she's acting weird, you know, like and like there's all this conversation happening around me.
You didn't see it, but Kaithin's face as he like ran in when you like asked him for help. And then he like ran in, like he had the face of like, I've never heard shaman like speak in this tone of voice ever. And then he like saw me, like Iman walking around. He's like, what the? Like he had the moment of like, what the hell?
What the hell is happening? But so all this happened, and I like had to have this dream until Tammy told me not to. And so Tammy was like, dream ends. You know, even after like a couple of minutes, and I'm like sobbing over invisible Iman. You know, just like dream ends. I'm like, oh, Iman, you're safe, you know, good, you're safe. And, you know, you're like, what was that sort of thing? And I'm like, sometimes you gotta pay, you know, sometimes you gotta pay the price. Like, like, my demon is the demon prince of madness, you know, like, dreams are a thing. And then Tammy goes like, you see, like, a vision of the telepathic idol in your mind. It's like this really intense vision. You have to find it. You have to use it, you know? And I'm like, all right, cool. And so I like dig through to find my like demonic idol. I take it out and I'm like, okay, I'm using it. And then Tammy leans in and she goes, oh, so it does work both ways. Hello, Aeryn. You know? And I'm like, fuck you. You know? She's like, here's the thing. I have something I want and you're gonna get it for me. Okay? So what I want is I want the bear. I want the other werebear. You gave me one werebear last month, and I really like it. It's a great pet. You know, it's very strong. I want the other one. I know there's one in this town. Get it for me. You know? And I'm like, so you want it, so what do I get? She's like, we'll make a deal. I'm more than happy to make a deal for this other bear. You know? I'm like, all right, we'll get the other bear.
And then we spent
like
half an hour hunting for this PC.
So we know who the PC is. Dom is the PC, and we know who he is. We know what he looks like. We're just like looking for him, and eventually we run into him. Back like almost where we started.
But there's also like this race because you're like there's someone else. Like I know. I
don't want to talk about that because it's not my thing to talk about, right? So, but yeah, there is a race with another person to like do this. I thought like I was gonna be in competition, but we ended up talking to Dom, and I'm like, Dom, and I've never talked to him before, like ever. Like Aeryn has never spared a word for this person. I'm like, I know you're a werebear. We need to make a deal to get rid of it. You know it's going crazy. You know it's gonna drive you insane eventually. Tell me what you want for it. We'll make a deal. You know? Like, I will get you what you want. I will be your lawyer. You know, like. The demon will give you what you want because it wants what you have. And when demons want something, they ask nicely first. And if you say no, she'll come and take it. You know? So, better to make a deal now.
While
the iron is hot, while they're still asking. You know? And he's like, yeah, okay. You know, like, we should do this. We should make a deal. I'm like, all right, good. You know? Let's go to my camp. We'll use the idol. We'll make a deal. We'll get your bear gone. We'll get you what you want. I'll get a little something, obviously, because I'm doing the deal, you know. And then, great. I'll have fulfilled the first thing that any demon has asked me to do, you know. I was so relieved when he was like, all right, let's make a deal. I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna get fucking killed by my own demon. Good. You know, like, because when demons ask you to do stuff, like, they want you to do stuff. And if you show initiative, then you're good. You're good to go, you know? Like, you're reliable. So we went to plot camp to find, you know, people to ask about a demon deal, because that's what you do. We went to plot camp, and I was like, hey, plot, so my friend Dom here wants to make a deal. He wants to trade his werebear. Dom, what do you want? You know, and Dom's like, what I want is, like, half of its strength. Like, permanently.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I want 4 strength on me.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's a pretty good deal. It's pretty good. Like, you lose most of the powers of the werebear. And they're like, but 4 strength, that's a lot of strength, you know? That's a lot of strength to give you from a werebear. Who knows what repercussions it could have, you know? Who knows how long it'll last, you know? And I could see as soon as they said repercussions, Dom's eyes just went like, yeah, I love repercussions. It's Fahrenheit. Yeah. And they were like, we can give you 2 strength, a quarter of the strength of the bear, forever. You can, I'll give you that happily, you know, and that won't damage your mortal form. Whereas containing 4 strength may damage you, you know. He's like, no, 4.
Yeah.
I'm like,
not even a question.
I'm like, all right, 4. So shake on it, you know, and demon and we shake. And then it's my turn. And they go like, well, and I go like, well, I want something as well. And you're like, well, we gave 4 strength to your bear friend, so there's not a lot of room in this deal for your cut. Yeah. If you'd taken 2, maybe you could get something better. You know? I'm like, that's fine. As long as he's happy, it's good. Happy customers is what I want, you know. And he's like, all right, fair. So what do you want? I say like, I would like to be able to cast 1 more talisman per day. He's like, I can do that. I can do that for you, Aeryn. No problem. Here you go. Magic ring. You know, and like hands me a magic ring. Yeah. It says like, this ring, it's going to last about 8 months. Just put it on your finger. Cast another talisman per day. I'm like, yay. Now I can cast 6 talismans. That's 30 armor. I asked for something tiny. It's minuscule by comparison with some things I could have asked for. Yeah. You know,
well, you want to ask for something that like they say yes to.
Well, exactly, question, right? Like, I mean, you want to ask for something they say no to, then bargain down to something they say yes to. But also, like, I couldn't think of anything that I like really wanted. I wasn't gonna be like, give me a gaze attack death for this deal. Like, they'd be like, no, you're an idiot. No, we won't do that. So we made the deal. Dom was happy. We got the werebear. What do you call it? We got the werebear template off of him, which is like an out-of-game thing that Plot's doing to like remove templates from the game. So I was just kind of helping Plot, basically, by doing that. And Dom went along with it because he knew eventually that it would be removed anyway. Yeah. Right? So that's one of those things where it was like a little bit out of game. But that's fine. He got what he wanted. I got what I wanted. It all worked out. Now I can cast 6 talismans. It's great. It's super, super cool. Yeah. What else? Sunday. Shattered Elves. Fighting Shattered Elves is really annoying. Not because Shattered Elves are inherently annoying, but because they have some annoying abilities. And a couple of them were very, very strong. Like, some of them were just like kind of pushover-y Scrublord Shattered Elves. Yeah. And then some of them are really strong.
Some of them like full pyramid dark psionics Shatter Elves.
Yeah, like really, like, really strong Shattered Elves. So we ended up in lots of like dramatic fights against Shattered Elves. The really annoying ones were the Templars, like weapon conduiting everything. Cause like I only have so many spells. Yeah. And when you have like 3 or 4 defenses per NPC, and those NPCs keep coming in waves of like 2 or 3 waves. Yeah. I don't have that many spells. I can't deal with that shit. But everybody was so reluctant to attack them, and I was just like, fuck it, let's go. Fucking bring it on. Fight me. Yeah. You know, like everybody's backing up and backing up and backing up, and I'm like, there's 5 of them and 20 of us. Kill them. And then like 90% of people don't move.
Like, they have weapons. Just block their weapon strikes.
Just block them.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of my time fighting Shattered Elves, knocking weapons out of their hand. Being like, repulsion sword, you know, and then being like, ah! And then, like, having the weaponless guy get mauled by, like, a bunch of people who are all scared but now aren't because he doesn't have any weapons.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time, like, blocking the door.
Yeah.
Being like, I'm gonna be the door block. Can't get by me. Sucks to be you.
Yeah, like, circle of protection, demonic, stuff like that.
Yeah. Fine word.
I don't want to talk too much about the Shattered Elf fights because they were the grindy portion of the event that I wasn't, like, super enthusiastic about, to be honest. It was just, like, it was cool to fight them a couple of times, but then it was just, like, all the time, and it sucked. I did, however, dominate one.
Yeah, that was cool.
I shouldn't have been able to do this, by the way.
No?
By the rules, Shattered Elves are greater.
Oh, okay.
Like most of them are greater.
Yeah.
And when they're mind controlled, they go berserk.
Oh, okay.
So, like, we stuffed it a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's fine. Because they're demons. Shattered Elves are a kind of demon. I thought I might be able to use Control Lesser Demon on them because I have that as a witch, right? So I'm like, Control Lesser Demon. And it worked. And he was like, okay.
Yeah.
I've got this little Shattered Elf minion following me around, you know?
Having great conversations.
Yeah, we're having, like, lovely conversations about, like, he really wants to eat everybody and he can't because I told him no touching.
Yeah.
You know? That kind of thing. It was great. It was fun. And eventually I was thinking to myself, what am I going to do with this Shattered Elf? I have a Shattered Elf just following me around. I'm going to have to kill it eventually, I guess. And then Siobhan came over and was like, you should tell him that if he's still under your control in 59 minutes, he should drink this.
Yeah.
And handed me a slow death alchemy. I handed it to him. I'm like, if you're still under my control in 59 minutes, drink this.
Yeah.
So that he doesn't have a chance to, like, after an hour, break out and then kill people.
Yeah.
So he'll drink a slow death poison if he's still under my control in 50. But that was, like, really sinister.
Yeah, no, Siobhan has got, like, she's got a great Vespin streak.
Vespin streak, yeah. But so anyway, I had the Shattered Elf with me for a little while, and we were just sitting down talking, and, like, I tried to, like, get some information out of him, but he didn't really know anything.
Yeah.
And eventually I was like, well, maybe I can bargain him away. I'll just trade him in my demon. I'm sure the dreams and crazy nightmares of a Shattered Elf are worth something to the Demon Prince of Madness, right? So we took him to plot camp.
Yeah.
And we sat around for a while because they were busy. Like, me and Luke sort of just, like, sat around and waited for a while. Luke being the NPC that played the Shattered Elf. We sat around and waited for a while. And eventually Tammy came over. And we were talking with her. And she's like, this couldn't happen. You know what I mean? Like, by the rules, there's no way you should be able to be doing this because Shattered Elves can't be influenced that way.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, but it is, though.
Yeah, it's
you know
like,
what I mean?
for the last hour, this is...
For the last hour, this has been my reality, and thus taking it back makes no sense. You know? If it had happened, and then I'd been told that it, like...
Yeah.
If it happened, and then a white headband shaver had been like, no, like, you're berserk.
Yeah.
I would have been like, okay.
Yeah.
But it had been an hour, you know? Like, there was plenty of time for that. So I was like... So what I want to do is trade this Shattered Elf to Nelstramus. Yeah. You know? And Tammy was like, I don't think you can trade demons to other demons because they just die and go back to their own hells. I'm like, I don't want to trade the demon. I want to trade his brain. Like, all his fucked up, crazy thoughts and his screwy dreams and stuff. Like, that's all exactly in the purview of Nelstramus, you know? So that was the thing. And I got out of that. Saray made a bad deal earlier in the event, and she'd lost her true name for, like, some information to the Demon of Pride. So what I said was, I'd like a warning when the Mordgeist is going to show up. I need the demon to come and tell me the Mordgeist is coming. Yeah. And I want a letter of Saray's true name back. I want you to forget a letter of Saray's true name. Yeah. And she's like, oh, I like that deal. Okay. And, you know, took the deal. So I got a warning when the Mordgeist is going to show up, which is really helpful for me in our camp. And Saray's whole true name isn't known by Demon anymore. So that's good. We saved her from that. And she was very grateful for that as well. I save her like once a game with Demon stuff. But anyway, it was just like a quick, short deal. Didn't really net us anything like physical or whatever, but it was cool to like have that interaction and for them to be cool about the fact that like, yeah, the Shattered Elf technically couldn't be how it was, but we figured something out.
It was also kind of like, in terms of like an interesting interaction for like non-elves with Shattered Elf, because like from my perspective, and I think Victor was there as well.
Yeah,
it's like we were able to like talk to a Shattered Elf and like, all right, so it's like, what's going on here?
So like, why do you do this stuff?
Yeah, because I mean, like, otherwise, like one of the things about Shattered Elves is like it's not necessarily very directly interactive for anyone who's not an elf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was nice to have him like sit there and like talk with him a bit.
Yeah.
It was good. Sigrid stuff, I think next.
Yeah. Yeah. Secret stuff.
So Sunday afternoon, going into evening, we had a witch show up. My dear friend Sigrid, who left me a mirror, quote unquote, who left me a mirror some 2 games ago, that allows me to contact her once per day. So she showed up. She's walking around, and I see her walking around, and I go out to talk to her, and she goes, "Oh, Aeryn, just who I was looking for. I have a problem that I need to deal with." I'm like, "Oh, really? You have a problem?" She's like, "Yeah, I have a problem. See, the local wild elves, the Nightshade wild elves, a lot of them turned into crazy Therians, and they've been attacking my people. And I have a ritual that will destroy them all. You know?
Yeah.
That will kill every werewolf in that bloodline. But I don't want to cast it by myself. You know, I need your help." I'm like, "You need my help for a ritual? All right, I'm interested. But we can't do that. Killing a whole bloodline of werewolves is... I have obligations to my significant other, you know, and she's a Weaver of Sybil, and she's not gonna like if I do that. So here's what I propose. We change the ritual a little. We can make the Leandrites happy, we can make the Sibyllites happy, and we can protect your people. All with one tweak. And that tweak is, rather than killing them, we need to separate them.
Yes.
The spirit of the werewolf and the spirit of the elf separate."
And then Iman chimes in, and Sybil gets those.
Yeah. And Sybil gets the werewolf spirits.
Yeah.
And Sigrid was like, let's do. I've got to consult my books. You know, I've got to make sure that I'm allowed to do that.
Yeah.
And we'll need some different things. But it's possible, you know. So she leaves, and we sit around and like we go get Cade.
Yeah.
Because we know Cade's gonna need to be in on this, and we find Kython as well because we're gonna need an anatomist.
Yeah.
And we're sitting around waiting for Sigrid to come back. Because, you know, she's gonna come back with information about whether or not we can do this or not. Because it's not technically a real ritual anymore. You know what I mean? Like, on paper, there is a witchcraft ritual that allows you to kill a whole werewolf bloodline. Yeah. Right? That's a thing you can do.
Yeah. If you have, like, the blood of the progenitor.
If you have the blood of... Well, it's the blood of any werewolf in the line. And it kills everything below that one. Yeah. Yeah. So it's one of those things where it's like, if you're a witch, you can do these things. You can do these things as a player. Right?
Yeah.
But... this ritual that we've said, like, let's tweak it a little bit, isn't a real ritual anymore, right? Like, there's no, like, ritual to separate entire werewolf spirit blood. Like, it's not a real thing anymore. So we were hoping that she'd do it anyway. Yeah. And she came back and she said, like, we went to go meet her, and she said, like, we can do this. But instead of a wolf heart, I need a werewolf heart. You know? And Cade, the look on Cade's face was like, you know, like, I could tell he was thinking about putting his hand up, sort of thing, but he didn't want to, like, because that werewolf would be separated from their spirit, and that spirit would be given to the patron as part of the ritual and stuff. That.
And like, there's I don't really want to talk about like Cade's story, but there's like a lot of stuff that's really cool about his werewolf. Yeah, it's like
I mean, I don't want to go into anybody else's backstory or whatever, but there was this great moment where he like I could tell he was like thinking about it. And so we were like, all right, so we need to cure these werewolves, but we need a werewolf heart. Where are we going to get a werewolf heart? And then we were talking to each other and we're like, well, we'll go to the Nightshade, which is the tribe that's been causing trouble, and we'll kill one of them. Yeah. and we'll take their heart
Yeah.
for the good of the rest of them.
Yeah, and like there's like a plot line from like a year ago.
Yeah, like
where,
a year or
like,
two ago. Yeah,
one of us, Iman, happened to know where they like
where the Nightshade were. Yeah,
so it's like we can do this.
Yeah.
We can actually just do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we went to the secret like meeting spot of the Nightshade that we know because Iman knows it from like a year ago.
Yeah.
And we waited, and 2 NPCs came. One was a lady and one was a man.
Yeah.
And I was like, are they werewolves? And Cade was like, Senstherian.
Yeah.
And the male was like, here, you know, and I just went, kill him. And then we slept the female, right? Mm. And then we killed the male, and took his heart. And like Kython carved it out without damaging it because we had an anatomist with us.
Yeah.
And we didn't hurt the non-werewolf elf. But this was for the best of everyone that this one had to die to get the heart.
Yeah.
And we hope that he like resurrected or whatever.
Yeah.
But so then we went to do the ritual. This was the best ritual circle ever.
Oh my goodness.
Ever. It's like this on the far back side of the site.
Yeah.
It's like down on this little boggy area. And I'm not kidding, 3 feet away, it was a swamp. And like the croaking of frogs and like insects and like all that stuff. It was so cool. I wish I'd taken a picture of it because it was like, it was scenic as fuck. Right? It was like really atmospheric.
Yeah.
All the frog croaking was so good.
And especially like the coming down to it because it was a nice flat area too. It was dry, but the swamp was right there.
Yeah. It was like flat grass and dry grass, but then like 3 feet away there was like a literal swamp with like broken tree branches in it, and like it was murky water, and it was really cool. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, props to Kim for
finding the spot. Yeah. But so we went to do the ritual, and so we do the ritual. Sigrid is like the lead caster. Cade and Kython are like watching out. Yeah. And Iman and I are participating as secondary casters in this ritual. And so Sigrid starts, and she hands me a silver coin, and she says, like, draw a hex mark on this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, draw my hex mark, try to make sure Iman doesn't see it, because they've technically scarred Iman with that same mark, and she'd be really upset if she figured out what the mark actually was. So I'm like, don't look at it.
Yeah, and like, I know what you're doing, but Iman doesn't. So Siobhan can see, it's like, oh, she's being super sneaky about this. Yeah. And Iman's just like, I'm doing my own thing.
Yeah. So we had to like draw on some silver coins, and then there was like we pricked our fingers on a thorn of a rose, and then we wrapped that rose around the heart of a werewolf.
Yeah.
And then the silver coins on either side, and then we like pulled it sharply. You know, like that kind of stuff. Yeah. Like, it was a pretty cool ritual, little, like, you know, like calling on the patron and so forth.
There's some cool, like, rhymes and recitation.
It was cool. Yeah. But then we had to do the draw.
Yeah. And also there was the Sybil part.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And Iman added her own part where she added a wolf carcass from the light altar. Like, we took it from the circle that we made earlier.
Yeah.
And like added it so that Sybil could like find the spirits.
Yeah.
You know? Which is pretty cool. But then we had to do the pull, and the pull went fine.
Yeah.
White stone.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, the flip, no flip.
No, yeah, we didn't succeed the flip because it was a witchcraft circle, so you get a flip. But then the pull went fine, we get a white stone.
Not only was it a witchcraft circle, it was a hovel.
A hovel, which is like the upgraded kick-ass witchcraft circle.
Yeah.
Which we were standing in and could have been ejected from at any time.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's like the witch can just be like, the hovel rejects you.
Get out.
Like, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
And it like pushes you out.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But so we did the pull, got a white stone, and then Tammy told you some stuff, right?
Yeah.
Where it was like, what happens to the werewolf spirits?
Yeah.
And then you got a little like whisper in your ear, right? I don't know what was said to you about that, and I don't know if you want to share it, but
Well, I can.
Yeah.
Can. So there's just Tammy was kind of like describing the end of the ritual as like things are separated, and then so Sybil, like, she hasn't really had any reason to be paying attention to this particular location at the time, but because the how the little injection of the Sybilness into the ritual, she was able to bring her attention there. And so Sybil then sees all of the werewolf spirits just get swiped up by the demonic patron. And it's just like the thing is about witches is that witches lie.
Yeah. And it's this thing where we're like, has Sigrid lied to us? You know, and like she said they would go to Sybil, but they went to the demon.
Yeah,
you know? And so immediately upon the ritual ending, Iman like summons a psionic blade and spell strike sleeps Sigrid to try and disable her, right? And as soon as you conjure a psionic blade, I was conjuring a psionic blade before it was even like, I didn't hesitate for a single second, right?
Yeah.
And so you sleep, and she goes, reflect, and you're like, shield magic, right? Yeah. And then I go in and I'm like, sleep, 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 you know, like trying to like flurry her down, like get through all her defenses. And she goes, reflect. I go, shield magic. She goes, reflect. I go, contingency sleep. And then I'm asleep, and she's asleep. So we're both just like, there's this immediate, like, and this all happened in the span of like 3 seconds.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, bam, 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 boom.
Yeah.
And that's
it's like sleeps everywhere.
Like before she could expel us from the hovel, we had to disable her.
Yeah.
And then like, you know, we dragged her out of the hovel.
Yeah. Wake Aeryn up.
Yeah, wake me up. And then everybody's like, what do we do?
Yeah.
Like, what do we do? I'm like, destroy the hovel. It'll kill her.
Yeah.
You know? And so they did. We destroyed the hovel.
Yeah.
The hovel heart.
Yeah.
Which
ripped it apart.
Which, to be fair, should have been a cauldron or a stone or like something visible as a heart. But it was an NPC ritual, so I just thought like I'll stuff it too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like we hammered it down. And it's a spirit sever death. When the hovel is destroyed, the witch takes a spirit sever death, which actually her stuff shouldn't have gone off, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So Sigrid disappears in a cloud of blood, right? Which is a witchcraft contingency thing. And I'm like, and her stuff drops, and it's an enchanted mirror.
Yeah.
And Mon picks it up, and we identify it. And it gives you a reflect magic once per day.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. And so Iman takes that. But then we're thinking, like, did Sigrid get lied to? Or did she lie to us? Or what? And we're worried about, like, of course, the revenge of this, like, really powerful witch, like, rolling into town and fucking our day up.
Like, unmodified, this is a very powerful ritual. Like, modifying it is...
Yeah, like, she's definitely really strong. But while we're in the middle of another conversation somewhere, I remember that I have a mirror that can contact her.
Yeah.
So I sent her a message that says, we didn't hurt you. Nothing of value was lost. Like, you didn't die. We think you may have been lied to, or you lied to us.
Yeah.
I was hoping you were a lady of your word. Let's talk about how we can fix this.
Yeah.
You know? And I sent her a message. We didn't get any response, but like, I know that she's got it because that's how it works. So we sent her a message. And what I'm hoping is that she'll become a person that helps us get those werewolf spirits back.
Yeah.
And like bargain for those spirits back from the demon to give to Sybil.
Yeah.
Because that would be really cool.
Yeah. But that was interesting. That was interesting. After that, there's the whole kind of like, well, it's not as bad as it could have gone, but it wasn't what we wanted.
We saved all the elves.
Yeah.
Like, all the elves are alive.
Yeah.
So that's something.
Yeah.
And we've stopped frenzied werewolves from killing people.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely.
Which is, like, another thing that went really well.
Yeah.
The only thing that didn't work was that they got swooped by the demonic rather than by Sybil. Yeah.
So it's, like, definitely, like, a bittersweet thing. And it was also really, really interesting because, like, after that, like, that was, like, I don't know, like, because Iman, like, saw Aeryn, like, jump so quickly to it, it's also, like, a thing that was, like, a worry that was in her head. Is like, okay, how, like, if there's
like, I'm going to attack and then Aaron's going to stand there and I'm going to get hurt.
Yeah. Like,
no.
Yeah. So she had little feelings about that.
That's
little Iman feelings.
I'm glad. Yeah. I'm glad you had feelings about that. Yeah. What else happened Sunday night? I think more Shadow Delves, basically.
Yeah.
There was the, like, toys as well, but I don't know what that was about.
Yeah, me neither. I didn't really interact with those.
No.
There's the party.
Oh, okay, so Sunday night I was sick. I was very sick. I forgot to take my meds for like 2 days in a row, and it was bad times. And I was like overheated and freezing and overheated and freezing, you know. And it just like I was exhausted and sick. It was bad. It was really bad. I honestly should have got a medical marshal or someone to like look after me. That was what I should have done, but I didn't do that, obviously. And there was like a party like fucking 3 feet from our tent. Victor decided to invite all his fucking friends over and like talk and late into Sunday night. It was really annoying.
Yeah.
But so I was dying, like just dying, and I had to get out and get some fresh air because the tent was feeling like very confined. And so I got up and I was standing and like I felt okay. And I went to sit down and I went over to the party and like sat down there, and I asked if anybody had any like, you know, I tried to stay in character because like you try and stay in character, and I was like breaking up though, like I was like very close to tears, you know, like a lot of that time.
you're not doing well.
Yeah, and I went like, does anybody have any like headache alchemy?
Yeah.
You know, like I really need some. Like my head is pounding. And Cade, of course, Cade, you know, because like I have some, but I'll have to go back to my camp to get it. And I'm like, don't bother yourself, you know. And he's like, no, I'm gonna go get it, you know.
Yeah.
I'm like, thanks, Cade. You know, and so he hops off to get it, and he's like, it's like arthritis strength aspirin, you know, or Tylenol or whatever. Is that gonna be okay? I'm like, yeah, give me 2. You know, he's like, all right, cool. What I did was I took 1 and I kept 1 for the morning, and then I took it in the morning. So,
Smart.
So I didn't, But so he ran off to get him, and I'm sitting there, and I'm very familiar with the feeling of like I'm gonna need to vomit. Like it's just a thing that I'm very good at these days. I know that sounds like a terrible skill, but this is just like real life for me, you know. Like occasionally my stomach hates me, and my meds you know, it's not good, or like something interacts badly or whatever. I'm just very familiar with this feeling, so I'm like, all right, I need some privacy. So I like stood up, walked away a little distance, and just like puked in the bushes. It was not comfortable. I was expecting to feel better after, because I often do, you know, when you're like, oh, I feel sick and shitty, and I'm just gonna like vomit over here, sort of thing, and then I'm good, and then I'm pepped up, you know, okay, all the bad is gone. Yeah, it's all gone. But this was like I vomited, and then I was choking, and I'm standing over there in the dark by myself, going, I can't breathe right now. Okay, I'm gonna okay, it's okay, we got it. There's some breath coming through. I just need to wait until this like goes away, sort of thing. And I was like, do I yell out right now that I need some help? But I'm just like, okay, just chill. Okay, we're good. You know, like, and I stood there for a couple minutes to like compose myself and stuff. It was a terrible night. This is like all out of game, by the way. This is just me being sick, right? And then I think you talked to Shane and we're like, can we sleep in your bed? Oh,
well, because we were going back to the tent, and it was just like you were,
I was in a bad way. I was in a bad way. That actually sounds a bit dangerous. Yeah, it was. I should have said something after that happened, but I didn't. And Cade came back with the headache pills, and I took one. And then we went to the cabin that we had like rented as well. And like slept in one of the other players' like gear. Cause he was at the party, like doing party stuff. And he's like, you can just stay there while I'm like partying. Because our tent was like too close to the party, and it was like loud and it sucked. So we went to go sleep in like the little loft in the cabin, and I was comfy and it was good.
Being taken care of.
Yeah, it was nice. Like Siobhan out of game was all like, should I stay with you or what? And I'm like, oh. So it was nice. Thank you. And when I woke up, I felt so much better.
Yeah. And the good thing is, like, we woke up before Lucian came to bed. So,
we woke up and it was like just daybreak sort of thing. So it was okay. We went back to our tent before Lucian needed to get his bed back. So it was all good. So Sunday night was a little bit of an out of game for me and for Siobhan by extension. Sorry.
Iman's not a partier. She didn't miss any.
No, I mean Aeryn neither. You know, like I was tempted to turn one of them into a toad and be like, everybody have fun, but you know, I didn't want to horn in on their good time, especially when I was feeling ill. So like yeah, Sunday was a bit of an out of game. But once I woke up, like after taking a little nap in Lucian's stuff, and like we got up to go back to the tent, I felt like so much better. I think it's because the headache pill kicked in, and like so that symptom was gone, and then like I could settle down and like sleep. And it really was just like heat cold kind of stuff, along with forgetting to take my pills. It's bad of me. I shouldn't have done that. But yeah, so Sunday night passed, and then Sunday morning. Was it? Wait, no. Then Monday morning. Monday morning.
Because of course they had their party on the last night.
Yeah. Monday morning. What was Monday morning? I feel like Monday morning was really quiet, actually.
Yeah, I think we got up and just kind of wandered around for a bit.
Yeah.
And then sat by the
I'm just
fort.
trying to think if there was any like conversations that we had that were like really. I think Monday afternoon, or like Monday near the end of game, we had some really good conversations with like the Vesmerites and then with Syl.
Yeah.
About the corruption.
Yeah. And like my spirit came.
And the spirit from the Dark Lore, came. Monday morning is when we walked up to the fort and we found Bingus and Bongus messing with the fucking ley line.
Oh no, that must have been Sunday.
Was it Sunday morning?
It must have been Sunday because there was
one of the mornings we walked into the fort and there's these two dudes sitting next to the ley line, like dipping their weapons in it. You know what I mean? Like
that was Saturday.
I don't remember.
The dipping in the weapons was Saturday.
I don't remember, but they were being idiots, and I was very tempted to stop them. But in the end, I was like, "Fuck it, do whatever you want. I'm gonna go. If the ley line explodes, I'm gonna come kill you." Yeah. Sort of thing.
Yeah, and then they came back and like their sticks glowing. It's like, I'm gonna ask the spirits about you because you're playing with corruption, and that's not okay.
It's very bad. It's a very bad thing.
Yeah.
It was like Tamaru and I don't know the other guy's name.
I don't remember.
Yeah. It was really bad. He's been a player for a while, and I don't remember his name. I'm the worst. But yeah, so they were messing with the ley line, which is always a bad thing. Some people got like arrested for messing with the Spheronites.
Yeah,
the Spheronites. So Spheron is like the Loki of Underworld. You know, like chaos and like discord and like trickery, mischief. Yeah. And there's a bunch of people that worship Spheron.
Yeah.
And they thought it would be funny to go into the fort, block all the doors, and then do like a mass.
Yeah, have mass.
Yeah, have a mass in the ley line. And so many people were fucking panicking the hell out of it. I'm like, this is exactly what they want. They want everybody to panic. They want they want disorder. They want chaos. They're not actually doing anything damaging.
Well, but the previous night, the Vesmerites like made an aura of death and like made something very
people kept
happen.
Messing with the fucking ley line. No, like in-game arrested by like the arbiters, you know. But like so the Spheronites got in trouble for it.
Yeah.
And
but they got in big trouble for it.
And we're gonna get executed.
Yeah.
And we were like walking towards town while it was happening.
Yeah.
And then suddenly the Spheronites are like busting ass past us, like running super fast, and there's a bunch of people chasing them.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Stop those guys!" I'm like, "Fuck that! I'm not gonna do anything. I'm not gonna stop them. No way."
No.
And they just like ran past us and disappeared.
But as part of their mass, they made their orb.
Yeah, they made an orb. So so the Spheronites had a magic 8-ball, basically.
Yeah, it was. They painted purple and like wrote orb on it.
Yeah. So magic 8-ball that they would ask questions, they would shake it, and then they would act on the answer. Because it's chaos. It's like...
Yeah. It's true.
It's the most Spherony thing like that I could think of. It's so great. So they have this orb. They're like... Apparently they shook it after Ash got sentenced to death.
Yeah.
They shook it and were like, should we hunt Ash? Absolutely. Okay. So the rest of the Smaronites went to go fucking
turn him into the law.
Kill Ash and turn his head into the law.
Yeah.
Which is just like the most their mask consisted of them all stabbing each other too, like just like turning on each other and like murdering each other. It's really funny. They're like a really good group of people that like have come a long way since they started, which is really exciting. Because when they started, they were just like the meme group, the meme squad. You know, like all these dudes who don't really know how to LARP yet.
It's like bring Harambe into yeah.
But yeah, so it was pretty great. It was pretty great to have them around now that they've like developed a little more. You know, it's cool to see that development too, and see people like get into a character they can relate to.
Yeah.
Even though it is still like a little bit like haha memes, you know, haha random.
But it's not like.
But it's not haha out of game random.
Yeah.
It's haha in game random.
Yeah.
Which is way better than what it used to be.
Well, and it's still, I don't know, I think it's kind of interesting because like the way that they go about doing it, at least what I've seen, one game, it seems like they put thought into it.
Yeah, they do. They do.
Yeah.
They definitely do.
Yeah.
But it's not always thought that I'm like the fake mustaches thing, I was like... But to be fair, I was in Aeryn mode, and Aaron's like, that's ridiculous.
I just thought it was funny. Because, like, it's just so brazen. It's so brazen.
So they came back to town after being threatened with execution, wearing fake mustaches and being like, no, I'm a new person. I'm a different guy.
They didn't stretch out the joke. They just did it for, like...
Yeah, they did it for, like, an hour.
Yeah.
But, Monday morning was more Shattered Elves. Killing Shattered Elves. Having some nice conversations with some visiting people. Thank you, Syl and Cade, for some lovely talk. You did stuff with Cade.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Monday morning?
Yeah, Monday morning. Yeah.
And I sat around and chatted with Syl, which was fun. It's nice to have, like, visitors from guilds far away and to be able to interact with people on sort of, like, a weirdly global scale. Yeah, it's, like, really cool. Yeah. It's really cool to be like, I have a friend who knows who I am in a guild that I may visit at some point in the future.
Yeah. And kind of like catch up on like mutual acquaintances or like old friends or stuff like that. For this imaginary life that...
like mentions of Ectus made me be like, I know Ectus from, you know, Amaranthia.
Yeah.
Shit like that. Yeah. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's fun to just like talk with people sometimes in game and like make some connections. I definitely had the talk where I was like, people think I'm like a problem, but I'm way less of a problem than people who don't think that they are a problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
the person who thinks they're a hero
is like far less of a benefit to the town than I am. I had that conversation a couple of times. And we got warned that I got fucking dobbed in.
Oh, yeah. And a name was dropped.
Yes, a name was dropped. I know the name of the person. Iro mentioned a name.
Yeah.
And so when we were walking around town, like Monday, later on Monday, the arbiters had like come to like arbitrate some shit. I don't even know really what was happening. Some people got accused of stabbing some other people or whatever. I try and stay out of that shit.
Yes.
And because arbiters wouldn't be involved if I got stabbed. I would find out who it was and then I would stab them back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's what I would do. But so we're walking around and somebody says like, oh, like, you know, somebody mentioned your witchcraft to the arbiters. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, yeah, because of the whole like honor duel thing with the paladin and the dwarf or whatever, that you like stepped in and stopped them from getting the head or whatever. Yeah. I'm like, I didn't touch Anna. I didn't resurrect Anna. I didn't do anything. Yeah. I just pushed the dwarf away. Yeah. That's it. That didn't stop anything. Yeah. You know? I was like, all right, cool. I'm like, oh god, somebody told the arbiters about my witchcraft. It's technically illegal, so I'm gonna have to deal with that probably next game. Yeah. Which is a shame, but also I'm looking forward to it. Yeah. I'm looking forward to having a conversation with an arbiter that basically goes, sum up all the things that I've done in this town that are bad versus the things that are good, and give me a dispensation. Yeah. For witchcraft, because that's what I should have.
Yeah, and it's something that they can do.
Yep. We'll see. Yeah. What else? Monday.
I think there's
Spirit stuff.
Yeah, Spirit.
The Spirit. Yeah. So what did the Spirit say to you?
So I was talking to the Spirit, and so this was a Spirit from like...
It was Yana.
Yana.
For those of you who know like other stories, Yana is Tawny's vampire progenitor.
Yeah, which was like I don't know, like, out of game, I've heard of this NPC. In game, this character has never met them before.
Yeah.
So I'm talking to the spirit about, kind of like, so I want to find out more about this Orb of Corruption, and the spirit itself doesn't know anything about the Orb of Corruption, but I'm like, all right, you're sent here for a reason, so tell me your story.
So what do you know? Yeah.
Yeah. So Yana was saying about how her old tribe was fallen to, like, this purple corruption, this purple moss that was abducting people away. Or clan, not tribe.
Yeah.
Einherjar, she's an Einherjar.
Yeah.
They have clans. So the Urson clan. And then they were trying to figure out a solution to find the people that were lost. And their solution was they didn't have enough time. So they sought vampirism. Someone came to them with a solution, with saying that I could
solution
give
to the
you...
corruption. They're not going to get sick because they're vampires.
Well, it's a solution, a solution to death, basically.
Yeah.
You're not going to die because you're a vampire, and now you have all the time you need to research.
Yeah.
And that's what they've been doing ever since. So this has been hundreds of years of research on the purple corruption, which, in Mon's eyes, are like, why? It's like, I need to know.
I need it.
I need to know. You're a vampire. That's a problem. I'm going to deal with that later. I need to know now.
Yeah, secondary problem.
Yeah. So Yana was killed by the Vesmerites. So Imon's like, all right, well, the Vesmerites know more about this, and they probably want to stop the purple corruption too.
So we had a chat with them.
Yeah, so let's talk.
But Argus was very focused on killing vampires. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, his whole focus seemed to be like, we need to talk to the Urson tribe. We need to figure out this corruption stuff.
Yeah.
But all of it was like, you killed one of their people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't think they're going to want to talk to you.
Well, the big thing, like, that Imon was trying to spin with Argus is that, like, this is a restless spirit. You failed. Like, you created what you're trying to put to rest. Because he's all about, like, natural order of things.
Vesmir is the god of natural death.
Yeah.
Basically. Like, the Grim Reaper.
Yeah. So undeath is bad, but restless spirits are also bad. So a vampire that creates a restless spirit is not a solution to the problem. So it's like, you can't just kill the vampires, you just solve their issues and then kill them. Yeah. So Imon was trying to, like, we need to solve this is step one. This is step one.
Step one, solve the issues.
Yeah.
Step two, kill the vampires.
Yeah, but that wasn't really... Yana was having none of that, because she was also still around, but none of us could see her, because none of us were mystics.
Yeah.
So she was just like... Well, or Argus could.
Argus could see her. But she couldn't talk to her.
Yeah.
She couldn't talk to him. She had to, like, do something out of it. She's going, like... You know, stuff like that. But Yana wandered away.
Yeah.
And when she wandered back with Syl.
Yes. That was beautiful. Oh my goodness.
Syl is like a high-level mystic, right?
Yeah.
So she can talk to the spirit. And, like, they interact as if they are both spirits, you know? Like, there's like, no barriers, right? And so she comes out and she starts reaming the Vesmerites, being like, how dare you try and contact the people of this person that you've killed, you know? Like, why do you think they would want to be bothered by you? You know, like, you people who just want to hunt them and kill them, sort of thing. Like, you've done nothing to prove that you're any kind of, like, worthy to do any of that, to meet any of the Urson tribe or clan, you know? And you know, they're trying to argue a little bit. There's a little bit of, like...
and then Syl just, like, ramps it up.
Well, and Syl's like, if I ever hear that you even went a foot closer to the Urson tribe, I will curse you with spirits to haunt your dreams for the rest of your life. It was, like, really intense. I was like, wow, Syl, Jesus.
Yeah.
You know? And I thought, like, I better step in here, you know? Because Aeryn can do words, you know, pretty well. And I step in and I say, Syl. She's like, she looks over at me. She's like, what, Aeryn? You know? And her intensity, like, dials down immediately.
Yeah.
I'm like, Syl. It isn't about the vampires. The vampires it's a non-issue right now.
Yeah.
The issue is the corruption. And we know that they've been researching the corruption for years. Yeah. We need that insight so that we can, like, do something about the root cause of the corruption. The vampires are irrelevant. What we care about is the corruption. And she's like, that's not what they care about, though.
Yeah.
I'm like, they don't know how to say it, but it is what they care about. Because they're going to make more restless spirits if they kill more vampires.
Yeah.
And that's not what they want. Right?
Yeah.
But she's like, okay. And she's like talking to the spirit, and she's like, what about these two? Like, could they go and see your clan? And like talk to your clan? And Yana's spirit is like,
Yeah.
And I say to Syl, like, you know I am as good as my word. Like, I will never... And, you know, Yana's like, you can't tell anyone where it is. And Syl relays, like, you can't tell anyone where it is. And, you know I am as good as my word, Syl. You know, like, if I say I won't tell anyone, I won't tell anyone. And you know that words mean a lot to me. And she's like, yeah, I do. You know, like, you're a witch. Like, I know that your word is contract, sort of thing. And so like we sort of set up a plot hook for next game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that Yana might come and find us and help us find the Ursin and like the corruption and stuff. So that's cool.
Yeah. It's like
That's cool. It's a little plot hook. It's nice. Yeah. We kind of stole the plot hook from the Vesmerites, but that's because they didn't know what to do.
Well, we tried.
Yeah, we did.
We tried to work together.
Yeah, we did.
And it's the kind
and
of
I mean
thing,
we'll probably
it's the kind of thing that's like gonna come back at them.
We'll probably still work together.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things where like we can't tell them where the Ursin are.
Yeah. It just means we
can talk about what we find out.
Yeah.
But we can't tell them where the Ursin are.
It's just it's a matter of like this step. If it needs to be handled in a certain way, or else it's just gonna go a different way, and I don't want it to go that way. So
we got to do it this way.
Yeah.
But there wasn't really like a final mod so much as there was just like a lot of Shattered Elves.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Yeah. Like there doesn't have to be like a.
Oh no, there was the teddy bear.
Oh yeah, the teddy bear again.
Yeah.
But that again, it was again.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This is one of those things where it was like the final mod wasn't anything defining to me.
Yeah. Well, it's
and
the
in
first
fact
time I
it
saw
wasn't.
the teddy,
and in fact, it wasn't even the final mod because the final thing was the Dragon Knight coming back and demanding in his head, and then the Arbiter stuff, where you and I were kind of just wandering around waiting for the game to be over.
Yeah.
Right. I feel like it ran a little long, just a little bit, but that's okay.
Yeah, but I think that happens when like there's like
player fuckery.
Yeah.
The really annoying thing was that they were trying to arbitrate some shit while Shattered Elves were attacking. So there's like a whole bunch of really powerful, really like totally capable people, all instead of being involved in the fighting, fucking talking to the Arbiter. And I'm like, bigger problems, friends. There's fighting happening. You know. Anyway. Yeah.
That circle of protection against demons sure came in handy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we I think that's it. I think that's it, like chronologically.
Yeah.
So it was a really good game. We had a really good time. We did our first rituals. We set up some plot hooks, the whole like werewolves thing, getting back the spirits from the demon, and the corruption stuff with the Ursin tribe. Yeah. It's very exciting to like have some stuff to work on and like cling to and like drag towards us a little bit.
And shamany
and shamany stuff for you and
and insects.
Yeah.
Bugs.
Yeah.
Bug friends.
Yeah, bug friends and witchcraft and it's all good. I'm looking forward to having to deal with the Arbiters next game. That'll be fun. If only because like I think I can get away with it. Like not that I am trying to say I will, but I think I can. Yeah. We'll see though. Yeah. We'll see. I might have to pay some kind of price or sign some kind of agreement or something, which I don't really want to do, but here we are. So I think that's where I'll cut it off for the lovely folks watching on the recording. Thank you very much. Have a lovely day, my friends. Appreciate you. All right.